You know, I kind of just went live and I didn't really look at what my stream title was or anything. What up, guys? Gamers. It went from being seeded into Tweak into Debuzz into Tarek within the last hour or two. Wait, for what tournament? What tournament is it? Like this weekend or something? I'm growing out the beard all the way. Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it. Scarlet Classics. Never even heard of it. Okay. I do not remember that, Shiro. Dude, you spoiled Spider-Man for me. What the fuck, dude? Your last laptop died via beer? Did you try feeding your laptop a little bit of beer? A little bit of... Well, here you go, little guy. Drink up. Open, like, the little CD case. Laptops that... No. Laptops these days surely do not have, like, a CD case that open up on the side, right? That is certainly not a thing anymore. Sorry for spoiling a movie that's 25 years old. Dude! I'm 26 years old. How was I supposed to watch that in time? It ain't got no gas in it. Yeah, nowadays... Laptops got them new 3D printers attached to them, and they're fucking... I don't know. I can't think of it. I don't know shit about laptops now. You had 25 years to make up for it. It's like those people who like play through like a game or like watch half of a movie, and they're like, I'll get back to it at another time. 25 years later. Would I do a collab with Riddles ever? What would we do? Any collab that I would do with Smash Player would most likely be like Smash related, and neither of us want to do that. So then it becomes like, okay, what do we do outside of Smash? And I like Riddles. He's a cool guy. Don't know what we would do together to hang out with. Street Fighter 6. I'm gonna get smoked. Let's be honest here. One v one in real life. Yep. Hola. Hola de. Collabing with Sonics is just a grind stream. See, I can't practice with people like Sonics because, like, the only thing I have over him is that there are no other Zero Suits to practice with, you know? You have a hella nice beard. Thank you. A lot of people would disagree with you. People see me different from the first day they saw me, and then they're just like, young man, kill yourself and your beard. What is the end game of this beard? I don't know. I don't know. I like it though. I like it. You know what sold me on the beard actually? Is that my grandma liked it. Because I had my friends say they liked it, and I was like, they're just being nice. I had my girlfriend say she liked it, and I was like, okay, that's pretty good. That's good. That's like definitely like +5 points for beard. And then my grandma, who is very, very critical of my physical appearance every single time I see her, if I've gained 2 pounds within the last time I've seen her, she will be like, oh, you're getting fat. Oh, like, grandma. But she like she speaks Portuguese mostly. She doesn't like she barely speaks English. So like I went to some like family gathering and like I had the long hair and I had the beard. Like I think my hair was longer than this. It was too long at the time, I'll be honest. But she was like, "Oh, I like your beard. It's good. It's very good." Does she pinch your cheeks? Nah, I got the fucking swiftest maneuvers, bro. She's never grabbing these. And I got the armor now. But, yeah, my grandma said she liked the beard. She was like, I like it. And then my mom said it. And then I was like, okay, the beard stays. And then I was like, do you like the hair, grandma? She's like, no. You were looking shaggy before SmashCon, big guy? Yeah, I know. That was definitely like probably the longest my hair's ever been. It was fucking hot that SmashCon too. I was low-key suffering. I was just damp. Fuck that hair, grandma. Short hair with beard would look atrocious though. I don't know. It depends. Bald with beard. I feel like that's so common. My grandma told me I look like a girl, but my mom says I look like you. So do the math. We look fucking sick is what I understand. And your grandma has bad taste. Remember someone pissed on the floor or something during my friend's match? What the hell? Dude just pissed himself? Okay. No, Grandma Mars, Grand Mars, she fucks with the beard. Yo, tell your grandma I said hi. Jinx, stop making moves on my grandma. For the last fucking time. She's not into you, dude. I'm a bit of a grandma's boy. You guys might not know that about me. But my grandma and I, we're sick. We like barely understand each other. But we get along dandy. Like SpongeBob? Like SpongeBob. Jinx has no defense. Try to get with my grandma. Just disc. There's like, I don't know, whatever. Bearish. There are multiple dialects in the same country. It's very normal. Definitely. You probably just don't think about it unless like you're there. But like you have like Southern English and then you got Southern English. And then you have the Valley Girl accent, which I'm not gonna do. And then you have like Canadian English. And then you have like, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, like Bostonian, New York accents, you know. Got that Midwestern English. Call soda pop. Soda pop. Are you Portuguese and Italian? Where did you get Italian from? The Queen's English. Damn, Burger Cheese took no fucking time at all. See ya. I don't know shit about the new Mario Kart, really. I would assume it's 4-player. They usually are. The subscribe clip of your video seem pretty Italian. I'm not Italian. I'm full-blooded Portuguese. Full-blooded Portuguese. I don't believe them. So if my dad's from like Europe, right? He's from Portugal, right? I'm so like, I'm trying to like remember, right? So like, those like super like ancient civilizations and stuff. So like, Aztecs were like Central America, right? Like Mexico and that area. And then like, what was Europe? I mean, there was a fuck ton of them, right? Europe was stupid. We got a lot of things going on over there. Aztecs aren't even that ancient. Whatever, man. Europe was a bit late to the party. Wait, what? Came north from Babylon and stuff. So is it one of those things where like, if your family's from Europe, you probably got a little bit of Babylonian in you? Is that how that works? I gotta get my water, dude. This is too much for me. Europe is probably the Roman Empire. It was huge. Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia and Babylon are like super ancient. Pre-Rome would have been Gauls and Normans. Yeah, but what about before that? You know what? We can literally, like, what era was Rome around? 509 BC. Bro, BC was fucking a while ago. These dudes is old as fuck. What era was Gaul around? So that was 509 BC. These guys are 390. Wait. The Iron Age and the Roman period. The Romans ruled Gaul for more than 500 years. The Gauls invaded and sacked Rome? How could they? This is confusing, bro. We're gonna watch Delta number 10 as soon as we finish this history lesson, dude. Just watch History of the World, I guess. Does it cover this stuff? Reminder that ancient Greece was considered ancient history to the ancient Romans. (1200 BC). Damn. Dude. Humans have been around for kind of a minute. But when you like zoom out even more, humans haven't even been in the picture for a minute. There's minutes and schminutes. And we're only in the minute category. This is getting philosophical. This is crazy. We're just like little ants. What if I just Google what is the oldest known civilization? The Sumerians? Yeah, I was right. Thank you, Civ 6, for teaching me that. The earliest known civilization is the Sumer. Southern Mesopotamia, now south central Iraq. Damn. 6th and 5th millennium BC. So that would be like, is that 6000 BC? How long is a millennia? Shit, crazy. Congratulations, your ancestors were turd people. The Turtani? Hell yeah, dude. Fifth century, so 5000 BC. Oh. Whoa, popular Diddy Kong Dolan _NE with the 3 months. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I heard you've been doing a lot of grind sessions with Frosty. I hope those have been going fun and well. Get shitted on the Turd Tanny, probably. The Turd Champs. Popular Diddy Kong. Whoa. I think that Chippy was a Turd Tanny just like me. Newt Flute, thank you for the 35 months. They've been good. I'm trying to get him to go to a local tonight and apply what he's learned. No way. Lost net, by the way, but it worked out. What the fuck are you talking about? Right before you had to leave, I disconnected. Okay. I see. That explains why you weren't saying anything. Yes, we're watching Smash today. Yes. Yes! Yes! What are we gonna watch? Okay. Without further ado, it is time to react to content. Even though we were just talking about the Sumerian Empire, the Sumer, I don't know if it was called Sumerian. It's the oldest known civilization that we know of. Isn't that really cool stuff? You always learn something new whenever you watch Mars, and sometimes it's not even about Smash. But did you actually know that the only reason the Sumerian Empire survived, or civilization, I don't know if there's a difference, is because they were all subscribed to Mars? Isn't that crazy that none of us would be around if people didn't subscribe to Mars all the way back then? So why break the tradition? Go ahead and do that now. And then we're gonna get into the video by watching Eat Smash, which they actually used to have all the way back then. Did you guys know that? It's true. Do you guys know who Gilgamesh is? He's actually my first subscriber. Look. I'll pull up a picture of him. Well, they didn't have pictures back then, but he looked like this. We had stone, so we made do with what we had. But there he is. There's Gilgamesh in all of his glory. Or whatever. And Kidu is an H-box sub. I don't even know what that means, but hey. What's up, Bale? Yi is the modern form of Sumer. It kind of is. Sort of, yeah. Icon getting ledge stalled by Kirby today. Poor chap. Really. First meeting Gilgamesh in Civ 6 DD is such a good feeling. He's the realest, homie. Yeah, until he fucking declares war on you. Anyway. For the Sumerians. This, I didn't even realize. The most unexpected Smash Bros. Moment is number 4. I have a feeling he's going to get jabbed and lose.
On that matter. Oh, right? Waiting it out. Good tech. Oh, he went right down there, too. Almost getting the reversal.
What could be unexpected here? Oh.
My goodness.
Oh, uh-oh. What do we do here?
Oh, no. Oh, what the
He got
heck?
footstooled? He survived? And he killed him. Oh. Yeah, that was crazy. That takes recognition.
Oh, jeez.
I exist transiently. Too big of a word, man. You should uncollege yourself. No, the Luma.
Oh, Luma. Thanks. Okay.
Hold on. Forward smash?
Oh, Luma. Thanks.
Steve, is that you? Huh?
Thanks.
Huh?
Okay.
I'm raging. What the hell was that?
What?
Robin's broken.
Whoa, instant ledge jump.
My Robin's insane.
That shit, you almost died. You probably should have. What are you doing?
Oh
Okay. Okay, this game's in beta. Look how he just, like, from one frame to another, just completely re-angled. He's going up and away. Ridiculous. We'll call it intentional. His tag is literally plot armor. He played for that. Egg champ. Eesh. Didn't expect it. I like to try and expect the unexpected. No shield. This is the same guy, ice on deck. Where did he go wrong? He actually, so I don't think that move affects you if you're in the air. So the way this hitbox works is it like blinks. So it must have been in between the blinks. But he did get scammed.
about that. Yeah, you can two-frame with Wonder Wing.
Nice nair.
Looking pretty good.
Patui shenanigans, perhaps?
Whoa.
Ooh.
What was that?
How funky.
That was so
That-
weird.
Get outplayed. Plus that matchup. That character is balanced. Oh my god. Rocket Sauce, thank you for the 6 months.
Ohio State's gonna win it.
I knew it was gonna happen. I'll be honest.
That's kind of on you. Oh my god.
Oh! Whoa! This used to happen all the time. I don't know why I wasn't ready for it.
Just about
Like he went for that intentionally. Like he's a cheeser, but good job.
here. Basically, the only difference is the percent on girly teen queen. Nice little
2
nair.
DKs. Okay, what is going on? Like, okay, I've now mentally processed what's going on here.
Is the percent on girly teen queen. Nice little nair.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Nice
Okay, from the top.
little
So Bayonetta gets back aired here by this Donkey Kong.
nair.
Does not tech, gets stage spiked, but you're not at an angle where you would explode immediately. But for some reason, getting hit by this up B re-angled the stage spike to actually go down. Like you can see the smoke cloud go down. Oh my god, that's awful. I just think Ivysaur's really cool. What's up, Jazz?
Oh my god, what? What was that hitbox?
That was heinous. I don't know why the game does that. I could explain in even greater detail how that works, but I'm not going to because I'm not a nerd. Except I guess I am a nerd. Whoa. Ew. Hero getting edge guarded. Who's surprised? Uh oh. Okay, he did shield it though. Wait, did he? Did he really shield this? It doesn't look like he shielded it. Because he didn't fall asleep, but he must have, or else he would have fallen asleep. He must have shielded that for like 1 frame specific. Ooh,
What?
that's tough, buddy.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Pink cop. Ooh! It was a hard read, chat.
Very nice. Very nice. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm the best in this video game.
Oh, this is bullshit.
I'm the best in this video game.
Wow. What a call out. That's all there really is to say about it. That was impressive. Nah, I know you're not supposed to. As a tether player, like as someone with a tether recovery, I know you can't do that.
Get that back air, but he's gonna have to just go to stage. Ooh, big. Nice damage. 129. Oh, you gotta be careful. No way! There's no way. Okay, he makes it back.
Good player alert. Good player alert. Oh my god.
Damage. 129.
He got spiked. Right. Got exposed. Like every good, like every K role player who's trying to cheese you is trying to do this second back air here. But it doesn't kill because good DI. He buffered the up B, and you can still footstool because this doesn't send you into free fall. It's special fall, which means you can footstool out of it for Sonic's case.
There's no way.
And he just did it.
He makes it back. I was about to say, dude, come on.
Kill screen was crazy.
Oh, dude, everybody in the venue believed.
I almost thought he was gonna save him too with the propeller at the end. Yeah.
That's honestly pretty funny. I mean, like, oh. Upload deserved. Did he win or lose? I don't know.
Whoa.
Oh là là. Oh le move de trop. Oh le move de trop.
Is that grenade?
Oh le move
Oh.
de trop.
I guess I didn't see him pick up the grenade, but if I saw it.
Chef. Il s'est fait down air, la grenade elle a explosé.
We're back. And we back. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Missile. Oh, wow. Snake gets a kill with a... Great job, dude.
Yeah, literally. I prefer to take the ledge.
He immediately has dude. Oh, I love Z-axis. You have to shake his hand after that, man. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. It's... I guess that makes sense. The ball was still there when he threw out the can. You see it? And because it hit an active hitbox like that, it exploded immediately. It wasn't even a true combo, dude. You just side beam.
Representante de este personaje, pero ahí veremos si Chris aprovecha. No aprovechó el no take de Grim y aún así sigue manteniendo la distancia.
Venga, recuperándose. ¡Oh! Terminó
The hell?
con el piquezón de
Oh, weird.
Rick.
これがわずかに宮城窓口のずらしが
Uh-oh, Mia, don't lose
こ
to
のストップを救いま
Luigi.
した全力の外側ずらしでなんとか命つなぎましたね外に投げて
We'll call it a hard read. He's him.
divey and then it bounces off a wall and it comes back and then hits the redstone part that's laid down. Like, that's cool. And the end
What
hits
even
the
hit him?
redstone part that's laid down. Like, that's cool.
Oh, did he dash? What did he input?
And the end,
I don't think he deserved to get
I
hit.
don't know how that.
I think that's more of a Mewtwo being a mid character than Steve being broken. Although it killing definitely broke. I don't even think it was fair. The VOD might be missing a frame though, so we can't see what he did. Wow. Okay.
Oh. Oh, he brought this back. No way.
Why is he alive?
What?
Beep beep.
No way.
What was the unexpected moment? He killed him with dash attack. I guess that he lived that one. Whatever, dude. Some of these were good. Oh, not this one.
How's it going, everyone? Today I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to show you what would be our clip of the day first, because this is one of the craziest plays done in the whole lifespan of this game. This is coming from
Let's hear him out, guys.
Bro5 on Twitter, and in just over a day, this tweet got almost 7 million views and over 130,000 likes. So yeah, I don't want to waste your guys' time. This is obviously the thumbnail. The edit is also by him, and of course, as always, the original is linked below in the description. So enjoy this clip of this 3,000-year-old ancient Greek strat being used in Smash Ultimate.
Okay.
A water spritzer to like their pet.
I mean, like, shame on you for getting hit by it, because I would expect it. But that is insane that he actually hit him with the Trojan horse. I didn't know that. That's new tech right there.
And that's what Bumps is doing with these lasers every time.
That was sick.
Link is trying to pull out a projectile, and he's like, "Stop it! Stop!"
Oh, the bomb saved him.
The bomb saved him from the down air, and that is going to have.
That's what the light says.
Horse on the Lord.
What is that?
They keep pivoting.
What the fuck are these last 30 seconds? I'm saying. What is that? That's actually so.
That's like Ultimate's rendition of a hip check, where you actually cross them up when you're not supposed to be able to.
That's actually
that was
so
stupid.
He's gonna be sitting here mining. Let Snake take care of his business in the skies.
Oh man, my card.
Oh baby, dude, her is so crazy. Dude, like, what a way to win a game is to go for that forward air. Like, how do you, like, if you're a Cola, you're like, I can't beat this guy, he's better than me. Like, that's it. That's like really all you can take away from that one.
Skyler hasn't been getting like anything with our set these past 2 games. Oh,
uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, bruh.
If I see Diddy get hit out of barrels, like, I already know what's gonna happen.
That's yeah. A shield? I want to see a side beat shield break. I want to see it. Oh my god.
Oh my god. You gotta respect it though. You gotta respect the forward smash. Oh, goodbye.
I did not deserve that. Might have this in a bag.
Uh-oh. This guy's a Ganon god. Uh-oh.
Ooh, okay, got a grab.
Side B, what are you? I don't think he's a Ganon god.
Ooh. I like the up air drag down. That was pretty fucking cool.
Like, dude. Like, why are either of you doing that? Like, remember that there was like that one day I like wanted to be like a bad player for like a little bit? I wanted to try it and see what it was like. I would never in my wildest dreams like even consider being either of these players. Because this dude did Warlock Punch while returning, like while getting out of disadvantage. Like he's trying to recover and he's doing Warlock Punch. As Ness, he can see this. And he double jumps into it. Barely, like he gets lucky. He barely gets under it. And down airs the fist. He down airs the extended hurt box from the Warlock Punch and spikes him. If I was Ness, I wouldn't even interact with that move. I would simply wait for it to be over and then kill him. They're both bots. Okay, and then he just wins anyway. Alright, my fault. Definitely Ganon God, my bad. Huh? Wait. Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say. He pushed the Pika into the thunder. Because if Pikachu gets hit by his own thunder, then he explodes. That was crazy.
Il doit être chef de relais qui est très connu personnage pour la
Yeah,
chef de Black.
Something that would happen to me on an Iron Man. Watch out, watch out! Uh-oh.
Nice up tilt right. What in the world?
No, that was not real. There wasn't enough range on that. But I see what Archangel was trying to do with doing a jab reset into a grab.
What the hell?
Through doing a jab round.
I did not
The
know that either.
holy water inside the stage was crazy.
Oh, he's trying to read with the up tilt juggles.
You're dead.
He's on the smash.
He blew it!
Oh my
Nothing
gosh.
surprised me with Pac-Man anymore. That's how I feel about some of these clips. It's like you should see it coming. You should see the unexpected. Helicopter. We're dead. Okay. Wouldn't expect to die there. That move is nasty.
سبوت دوت كلاتش صراحة. اوكي. والله ابس. ماشي. اوكي.
I feel like only a Steve player would be like, oh, I'm getting down thrown by Rob and I have to mash out of a berry. I'm mashing down air. I'm actually in advantage here.
فريسكو 2 الآن.
Ouch, hits those. Ooh, a little low profile. Whoa. Quite scammed. Yeet. Oh. Oh. No. No. He probably should have killed him there, honestly. Let me see this again. Why didn't this connect?
No.
That's hilarious. Saw that coming. Ooh, good recognition. I'd feel so scammed. I paid $5.99 for this and I still got cheese. Yeah, buddy? Yeah, buddy?
In this instance,
Donut Lord, you're a fool.
Y Raúl, que poco a poco está sumando un poco de porcentaje, eso podía haber sido una pequeña confirm. Pero vemos que no ha reaccionado a tiempo. Ben hace smash, como para nada true, pero ha conseguido funcionar. Y ahora mismo Raúl que puede aprovechar esta pequeña confusión.
Oh? Are you okay? You got scammed. Coconuts! Coconuts! Oh, okay. He's so angry. This has been going on for a while, huh? Yeah, that move just beats moves for some reason. Mars, have you ever gotten the draw sudden death in bracket? I don't think I have. I don't think I have. You can do that? You can KO punch in the air and drift backwards? You blew it! Have I ever gotten it at all? Yeah, I think so. I've played so much Smash, it's like more likely to have happened at this point. Oh, did it blow up over time? Or did he drop it? I feel like it must have blown up over time because I don't think he didn't down B. I think he just double jumped the link. Yeah, it was just out for too long.
What's up, guys? I'm just going back to our Trojan horse clip here because
can't get enough of it.
I just want to touch over a few more interesting details. So according to McBro, he made a blueprint for the setup 2 years ago.
Okay.
Which is pretty funny. And he posted proof that this is like an actual online clip and not just a fake one with a friend or something. It's pretty crazy though to actually like legitimately hit this in a match.
That is
after,
actually
it
so
seems like
funny.
trying for 2 years based on the other tweet. And there was even some gaming news article pages that wrote about it, man. Like, what? Anyways, this is probably the most traction a Smash Clip has ever gotten, and at this point too, with interest being quite a lot lower than
This like screenshot right here is like worth 1,000 words, because if I saw this as the Daisy player, I would like immediately stand in the corner, and I'd be like, no, I'm not going to be a victim in your clip of the day, buddy.
Several years ago for this game, so that's pretty cool. But either way, I hope you enjoyed that, and that has been our E-clip of this.
All right, last one. Let's get it.
That was his third in a row, so it's very stale now. Yeah, this guy loves apple. Oh my goodness. An apple a day keeps the rob away, apparently.
I'm saying.
I'm all out of things to expect.
Scaling doesn't matter because, weak hit a back air.
Very, very nervy movement on the platform.
Ooh.
But off stage and the laser.
Oh no! He didn't see it.
Oh my god.
That's really funny. It's just lost to an apple. An apple a day keeps the dub away.
Pretty cool though. He's got the shot put on deck. Going for a bunch of stuff. Not really a lot of regard for what's going on. Whoa! Ah!
Oh, he jumped into it.
Did you see that?
Irgendein Abschnitt bekommen der definitiv. Aber das könnte es sein. Zu hohe Prozent, um den Vorlauf zu bekommen.
Die Chance gehabt. Aber Guard auch gut.
Aber der Backgear.
Und der Edgeguard. Dose ist zwar da, aber
oh Gott, es
Raven
geht
kann
weit,
sehr
es
tief
geht
gehen.
weit.
No. Oh my god, I'd be so mad. Oh my god, that would be me. I would have done that same exact thing, and that would have happened to me. What am I listening to? Okay. That's a quality. It's not even me. Quality is low. What the? DK is trash. Oh. Oh. So the counter sucked ass and it just didn't work, and then he just mashed backslash, got the back hit, and then he DI'd poorly. Like, that was a Looney Tunes commercial.
What was that?
Whoa. Oh, you're dead. You can't do that. I know you can't do that. Just side B, bro. Oh my god, you're actually getting cooked. You're getting cooked by someone who's like, he's got half a character.
I don't even remember him doing that tag. He did the Jujutsu Kaisen one or something a while ago.
Oh, nah, I'd win.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
was stupid.
Okay, there we go.
Should have been nah,
How
I'd
do you
lose.
even commentate that name?
Nah, I'd win.
Nah, it should be nah, I'd lose.
Okay, that was pretty lucky. Little misfire action, and then you just roll, get up, mash, up smash.
Yo, is she playing Luigi or is she playing Hero?
I was like, wait, why is there 3 characters on this?
Oh!
It's so dumb that he revenged it and he still got hit by it later.
Okay.
F tilt and he's dead. Okay. That's why F tilt is Snake's worst move. Not even trolling. That made sense to me.
This one is Drew.
Have I ever lost a match to a misfire in tournament before? Yes, I have, Drew. Yes, I have. I've seen it enough times that I'm not surprised. Jigglypuff players mashing rest out of like lag. Whoa. What the hell was that? That doesn't make any sense. None of that made any sense to me. I refuse to believe that was a real thing that just happened.
Damage with the bullet arts. Letting the cat fire. Instead, Peanut gets up from ledge back throw. Not going to take the stock. 144, 137. Oh, Lima still has 2 minutes. Going to stool dare. It sends. 144.
That's pretty crazy.
137. Oh, Lima still has 2 minutes. Going to stool dare. It sends backwards. So it sends into the left blast zone. And it sends Peanut.
Footstool dare was pretty sick there. Not gonna lie, that was a sickly thing to find.
Aïe aïe aïe. C'est peut-être la fin. Ah, oh, la grenade qui...
Doesn't matter. Me Brawler will always win that scenario, even with frame 1 grenade.
Is Igloo able to avoid that one for the time being, going for that back air as well? But there is the grab and the kill.
Dominator has like a secondary Joker. Did he just not want to go Joker?
Does DK work for Steve or Game & Watch?
Game & Watch.
I think it's Game & Watch.
It might be Game & Watch.
I wish I could like see what happened. It's an ugly game. You just went off stage to recover Bowser? That's what you did? Not the edge guard, but so that you could nair one. Oh he just tied to nair one from Ganon. I've never seen that. It's my new goal with Ganon.
In the air against Zelda. Find a wavelength.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Interesting. What will he do? Oh. The pause for the absolute disbelief. He's at 277, man. Why is he not dead? Yay. Why was he at 277, guys? You couldn't hit a dash attack, a down tilt, a grab. Weak back air would kill from like maybe mid stage at that point. Maybe full stage, to be honest. Like down air would kill. Obviously up tilt and like every smash attack in your kit, and like grenade would kill. Whatever.
Down tilt on side mid. He's SKO Fudge. This is almost perfectly even. He needs to be smart about this now. He is. Both players do not want to commit. Well, why would you? Good point. This is neutral.
Look at the nooch. What? Oh wow.
I don't even know what happened.
Oh
what is
wow.
This game? What is happening?
So scammed.
A little bit too early. I don't mind that down air. I feel like it was in right spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, ball saved him.
Yeah. I don't know what Pikachu has hit on ledge there, but
probably down smash. Oh, that was a raw-looking kill screen, by the way. Did you see the way we fit landed?
What was so unexpected about that?
Literally superhero pose. On the
It's just like the lowest. That's what happens if you do the lowest possible aerial.
Ooh, you got the read. Oh, wait. Okay, Elfie. Shit, why weren't you doing that against me? That's crazy.
It's still going.
Oh, missed the grab. That's all right.
I hope Jigglypuff just dies at like 0 somehow.
Look at Elfie go. Okay, Elfie, shit. Don't do it to him. Ooh.
Kill her.
Well, he's not gonna die.
Kill her. Oh, okay. It's same as the H-box clip where you were in end lag and then you mashed. Oh, here we go. What will it be? Oh. 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 The first time. The first time there's ever been more than one kill spark in the sudden death. That's a good one. I like that. They just make a clip of the day, dude. be like your ancestors and subscribe to the channel today. Thank you so much. Bye bye. I'm stretching. That's not bedtime behavior. But preference, thank you for the 60 months. Wowzers! Luca, I definitely missed your gifted earlier. When am I going to start clip farming for clip of the day? Who knows? Alright, what the hell is that? Alright, one more video. So Vars, hold up. We'll do this after. Alright, so you guys may be familiar with Rister Mice. We watched some of his videos not too long ago. Makes really good content, really great educational content. It's all good stuff overall, but he's gonna... What we did last time is he went through every character in the game and said their best move. But now, if you know how to read, we're gonna go through the best player with every character. This is going to be a bit of a trivia quiz for myself and maybe for you guys too. But we'll see. We'll see who I know, what I know, if I know, you know? You know. I'm assuming he's going to take Wi-Fi into account too because there's a lot of characters that just don't get any representation. Offline. We'll see when we get there. I think I know basically most of, if not all of the best players. So let's get right into it. I'm assuming the first one's Mario.
The best player of every character.
Alright, part 1, Mario.
Smash Ultimate, part 1, Mario.
I mean, at this point, it's Snow.
The best Mario player in the world is no doubt Kurama, who has gotten prestigious placements like 7th place at Crown the Third.
When was this made? So, where's the date? Ah, 2023. That checks out. In 2023, yes, it was Kurama, but now it's Snow.
Third, and a 4th place finish at Smash Summit 6. However, the tournament that will forever cement Kurama as a legend is the Ludwig Smash Invitational, where Kurama had a phenomenal run to 3rd place after only qualifying through the last chance qualifier, defeating T Game 5, Zachary 3-0, Gluttony 3-0, Spargo Game 5, Cola 3-1, and Shuton 3-1.
This to beat Spargo?
Losing only to MKLeo, Akola, and DeBuzz, all in 3-1 sets. As far as other notable Marios go, shoutouts go to both Now and Snow, a pair of Marios that have both been making big waves over in Japan. Stay tuned for more parts. The best player of every character in Smash,
Chunky
part
Kong, or... Well, he's like the best main. It gets really weird once you start talking about like other players, like secondaries, you know what I mean? Because like someone's secondaries, like the Byleth secondary, you know what I mean? For Leo is clearly the best. Whatever. It could be Riziasu. I don't know what his results are with DK, to be honest, so I'm going to assume Chunky Kong is the answer.
2, Donkey Kong. This one is a little bit trickier, since Donkey Kong's best result ever was undoubtedly Hikaru's run at Ultimate Fighting Arena 2022, where Hikaru defeated Leon 3-1, Gluttony 3-2, Bloom Forever 3-2, before losing to T 3-1 and Gluttony 3-2 in the run back in Losers Finals. However, the main issue here is that Hikaru is pretty much retired these days and isn't a Donkey Kong main, which calls into question my criteria for this series to begin with. So here's my rule. In order for a player to be considered for this series, they have to play the certain character as at least a co-main. So, with that established, and given the fact that Hikaru is pretty much retired now, my pick for best Donkey Kong will actually go to Chunky Kong, whose best placement was their 7th place finish at MomoCon 2023, where
7th?
Chunky Kong defeated Hyper Kirby, Murph, and Cosmos, all in Game 5 sets. Follow me and stay tuned for the next few episodes.
That's crazy that like DK results got like even better and better after this too. Like he would go on to like beat Light, and then probably some other players I don't remember.
The best player of every character in Smash Part 3.
Who's the best Link? Who's on screen right now? I don't know these guys. The best Link? I don't think T plays anymore, just capital T. It was him though. Who's saying Gluto in the chat? I knew I was gonna see Gluto as soon as I freaking saw it. Keon? I don't even know who that guy is. I'm surprised I'm stumped this early. Who's the best Link? It'll always be T if he plays. Capital T.
3, Link. Now, obviously, the Link player who used to be the best was T, the letter, not the drink, who caused waves with the character back in Smash's early days. But T doesn't play anymore, so who is the current best Link? Well, we don't even have to move out of Japan to find out. The best Link in the world is Kion, who had their massive breakout performance only 7 months ago at Winter Next number 3, where Kion defeated
The one
Abedako,
Link result.
Shogun, Noi, and
Oop.
the best player of every character in Smash Part
Samus?
4, Samus.
There's Yara, and then there's Siski. I think those are the top two, right? Probably Siski overall.
This is where things can get a little bit controversial, as people will no doubt debate whether or not the title of Best Samus should go to Siski from Spain or Yara from Japan. But if I was lame, I could separate it between Samus and Dark Samus, but that's no fun. If you ask me,
True.
Siski and Yara both have comparable peaks, with Yara having a slight edge since they've beaten Spargo before, with Siski just barely not upsetting Spargo, but with each of them having equally impressive feats under their belts. So for this, I'm actually going to consult Shoe Stats, a somewhat objective ranking of players based on points gained from placements and notable wins. Using this, we can see that Yara has almost twice as many points as Siski does, cementing their spot as the best Samus.
What the fuck
for what
does
it's
that even... What? Points?
worth, I think Siski is actually really close to Yara. And additionally, I have to give a shout out to Quick, my German goat, and Icy Mist, who is one of my favorite players to see do well at a tournament. Follow me and stay tuned for more parts.
So he's saying Yara just because Shoe Stats says so, which is a pretty Mickey Mouse stats. I still think it's Siski. I've never played Yara. I don't really think I've watched Yara play much. I think Siski's beaten Gluto, who's an absolute demon recently. I don't know what Yara's done though. I think Siski's my answer.
The best player
Outside of me doing Ironmans, because my Samus is GOAT. If you fight a cola behind the 7-Eleven in friendlies every weekend, you're going to look top one. True, true.
of every character in Smash Ultimate Part 5.
Oh, it's just Yoshidora.
Yoshi. It's Yoshidora, obviously. I mean, look at this graphic. Yoshidora has almost twice as many points as any other Yoshi on this entire board. We all know that the best Yoshi in the world is Yoshidora. But what about some other notable ones? In North America, each of the big countries actually has their own phenomenal Yoshi player, with the best one in Canada.
There's a lot of good Yoshi players, and it might have something to do with the fact that he's very easy.
Being Burst, the best one in Mexico being Meme, but with the best Yoshi in America being a bit more of a controversial topic. Me personally, I love to spread Kansas City propaganda wherever I go, so my shout out is going to go to Justin23 from Kansas City. Follow and stay tuned for more parts.
Fucking who? Mr. Rice was paid for this. Rister Mice. Definitely paid to say that.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 6, Kirby.
Okay, so it is Gilhu, without a doubt. But I guess back then it would be J-Jaw.
This is a really hard one to do, as I'm mostly torn between two Kirbys. Those two being J-Jaw from the States and Gilhu from Mexico.
I think this was before Gilhu got his crazy results.
The two of them have pretty similar peaks, and looking at shoe stats, the two are nearly tied in points.
That's insane that when we were looking at the Yoshi stats, it was like up to like 6,000 or something like that, and the Kirby stats are like not even over 2,000.
With Gilhu having a very slight edge. Even their head-to-head doesn't tell us much, as even though J-Jaw is up 3-1 lifetime on Gilhu, they've only ever fought online, and the only time it was a BO5 set was the one that Gilhu won. For what it's worth, I think these players are pretty much tied skill-wise, and it comes down to a razor's edge, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Gilhu, since I think Gilhu has slightly better wins against top players, defeating players like Javi, Cloudy, Chag, Nair, and even Meister. Follow and stay tuned.
I just watched Meister SD. He didn't beat Meister. Meister donated that set. Shout out to Meister one time.
The best player of every character in Smash Ultimate Part...
Ooh, Fox. Ah, Fox. Best Fox player. Best Fox player. Guys, do you know any good Fox players? Yeah, I think it's a difficult choice as well. I think it's my Fox after losing to Light after 3 hours at a local bar.
7. Fox.
Or
We
Mango.
all know that the best Fox
Larry
in the world
fucking
is
Lure.
Light. But did you know that Solo Fox didn't ever win a major until SmashCon Fall Fest 2022? It's one of the best losers runs in Ultimate history, and in my opinion, one of the greatest tournaments that Smash Ultimate has ever had. Light, who was the 6th seed of the event, had good wins over Suarez and Aaron, but was upset by Jackal in the 3-0 loss right after this, going into losers extremely early. Light then went on a crazy losers run, first defeating Pink Fresh 3-1, before next beating Mars, Cola, MVD, and Meister, all in extremely close Game 5 sets, going up into Grand Finals and 3-0ing Spargo in Grands before winning in one more extremely close Game 5 set in the Grands reset, becoming the first solo Fox to ever win a major. By the way, in terms of other talented Foxes, shout out to Kananabe, who became the only other Fox in recent Smash Ultimate history to top 8 a major at Port Priority 8. Follow.
But he also plays Min-Min, so fuck that guy.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 8, Pikachu.
Shiny Shart.
The best Pikachu in the world is no doubt Shiny Mark. And the best player of every character in Smash, Part 9, Luigi.
Raru.
I have a feeling that this episode is going to be a tad bit controversial.
Okay, no one's gonna say Luigi. No one's gonna say... Dude, why are there like 80 million Luigis? Jesus Christ. It's just Raru. Just look at the numbers.
So let's just rip the band-aid off, shall we? The best Luigi in the world is Raru-kun from Japan. I know. I was half expecting it to be Luigi as well, but looking at shoe stats, technically speaking, Luigi is 4th on the list, being beneath Raru-kun, Yaman Action, and even Waka. And I mean, looking at Luigi's player head-to-head...
I don't know Yaman Action played Luigi. I thought he was just a Steve gamer.
His best wins are probably versus Gluttony and Siski, and maybe even Bloom Forever, but they fight all the time at UK locals and regionals. Raru-kun, on the other hand, not only has more impressive wins, but has a lot more of them, defeating Yoshidora before and even having a positive record on Ashimo. Raru-kun also has wins over players like Kyan, Umeki, Aaron, Kananabe, Mr. R, Toriguri, Takara, Sasusoro, Ryuo, Jogibu,
That's how you
Kurage,
pronounce
and
that one.
Kome, as well as top 8ing many
Sasusoro. There we go.
important Japanese tournaments. And given all of...
Also, you gotta remember that like this was made in, what, 2023? Right? So like you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt, where like Raru's results just kept going up and up and up. And Lugi's been doing really good too, and he's got really good results as well. But Raru's like, I think top 10 right now.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 10, Net.
Ness, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a scam to say Syrup because he wins a large majority of his matches with Steve at this point. So I wouldn't even consider him like a Ness co-main. He's like a Ness pocket. He like goes Ness 1, maybe 2 times out of every bracket. For like the 10 sets that he plays, dude, he's got like probably less than like a 20%, 30% win rate. Or play rate for Ness. So I wouldn't say him. I think it's between Gact. Who's the other one? I don't think it's Nessboy. I don't think it's Send. I don't think it's PK Chris. PK Chris had that one really good run. I don't know if... Yeah, actually, PK Chris did beat Leo. That's funny. Atada. That's who I was thinking. I think Atada is probably the best Ness right now. Like, the best solo Ness. It's him or Gact. But Gact beat Leo recently. Ooh, I don't know how good Gact's results are out of Japan. Or sorry, in Japan. Because his out of Japan results are really good. I'm going to say Gact.
Ness. The best Ness in the world is Gact from Japan,
It
who
wasn't
not
close.
only has the most points from shoe stats, but also has the best recent placements at important tournaments. Gact has made top 8 at lots of Japanese majors, but in my opinion, the most impressive one was his performance at Mayasuma Top 12, where Gact defeated Riddles 3-1 along with Shuton and T in Game 5 sets, losing to Akola and Mia, the 2 best players in Japan, if not the entire world. This tournament marked the end of Gak's slump and returned to prominence, and ever since then, Gak has made great placements consistently in Japan, and even as top 8
one of
in
the
some
most
important
baller
NA
pop-offs.
tournaments, most notably Delfino Mazza 2023, where Gak defeated Chag, Jazar, Meister, and Siski. Follow and stay tuned for more parts.
So raw. Such a good pop-off.
The best player
What did he even say?
of every character in Smash, Part 11, Captain Falcon.
Jogibu or the other one? Fuck, what's his tag? Karage. Probably Jogibu, right?
The best Captain Falcon in the world is Jogibu, and
Yeah.
I know. I've been reading the comments on the last few episodes, and you guys have already accused me of being way too favored towards Japan, but just hear me out. Because
I mean, if he's right, he's right. You can't get mad at him. Yeah, Nick C is the real answer for those who know.
of the precedent I set with Hikaru in the Donkey Kong episode, I won't
Prime
be
Gamers in the
considering
chat, make sure you
inactive,
sub.
retired,
Cartridge, thank you for the
or
gifted.
banned players for these shorts. And if you didn't know, Fatality retired in 2022. In his own words, he's focusing on content creation and Street Fighter 6.
His ass is coming back to Ultimate, by the way.
And goes,
that DJ was not it. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Griffin.
to tournaments only to chill or vibe with friends, not to compete, and therefore doesn't qualify for this series. With that said, the other two big Captain Falcon players are Jogibu and Karage from Japan, and honestly,
You know what the real answer is? It's my Falcon when I'm having fun. Not even trolling. If I'm having fun and I'm playing Falcon at the same time, I might even be the best player in the world, not even just the best Falcon. Moving on. Ask my friends, they'll agree. Or my Squad Strike Falcon. After like 2-3 sets, once it's finally warmed up.
the best player of every character in Smash, Part 12, Jigglypuff.
Hungry Box, go next. It's Base Mage.
The best Jigglypuff in the world is Base Mage, who not only has the most points on shoe stats by the best player of every character in Smash, Part 13,
Mew.
Peach and Daisy. The main two players in contention for Best Peach are Mudace and Umeki, who are very close on the shoe stats rankings. Both of them have
Umeki did just beat Sonics. Actually, wait, so did Mute. Peaches are winning. All right, go next.
the best player of every character in the world, Part 14, Bowser.
I didn't even see the auto captions. I'm going to put those away. Bowser? Oh, it's Harrow. Because Leon doesn't even really play or travel that much anymore. I feel like if he did, it would probably be him. But then he would run into Pikachus and shit, and he wouldn't want to play anymore.
The best Bowser in the world is Hedo, who not only has the most points on shoe stats, being 1,000 points over Leon, but has had better placements at huge tournaments, getting top 8 at more.
Dude, playing Bowser at top levels got to be, like, so awful, but also, like, you're just cheesing the whole time, bro.
Multiple Japanese majors, the most notable one being Kagiribi 10, where Hedo got wins on Karage, Yoshi, Yara, and Ken for a final placement of 5th at a super major with solo Bowser. However, I'm going to take a moment to highlight what I created and coined as the Triforce of Bowser mains. A Triforce of mains is when your main has 3 very strong representatives, with one
That's how you know your character is for babies. You got 3 reps? I've been in the mines for years! Alone!
one being from NA, one being from Europe, and one being in Japan.
From Europe? Who's the Europe Bowser? Who?
A lot of characters have them, and they're quite fun to make. But my Triforce of Bowser mains includes Hedo from Japan, Leon from North America, and Mukuro from Germany. Huge shoutouts goes to all 3 of these players. Follow and stay tuned for more parts.
I've never heard of him before.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 15, Ice Climbers.
I wonder. It is Large Dawson.
The best Ice Climbers player in the world is, no question, Big D. No one has taken this character to the peaks that Big D has, but the best player of every character in Smash,
Web
Part 16,
JP.
Sheik. Hey, Rister, why does Sheik come before Zelda when...
I mean... So, like, obviously it was Void before, and I think if Void still played and cared about the game, it would be Void. But he doesn't, so it's Web.
Zelda is the one who transforms into Sheik and not the other way around? I don't know. Ask Sakurai. He's the one who has Sheik at 16 and Zelda at 17. I'm just
That's
the
really
messenger.
funny. I didn't know
This
that.
episode might get a tad bit controversial, as despite being ranked number 5 on the shoe stats ranking, I'm going to throw all of that away and say that WebJP is the best Sheik in the world.
Wait,
WebJP
what did
number
he say?
5
Web is number 5, Omega Laugh. Mr. R. I don't even think I've seen this guy on a stream.
On the shoe stats ranking, I'm gonna throw all of that away and say that WebJP is the best Sheik in the world. WebJP has many impressive runs, his two best being his run to 7th at MomoCon 2023 as the 18th seed, but even more so his run at Luminosity Makes Moves Miami 2023, where WebJP got 9th as the 36th
Dude, that
seed
combo was
and defeated
raw.
Goblin, Light, and Neo.
I want to see that again.
But even more so his run at Luminosity Makes Moves Miami 2023, where WebJP got 9th as the 36th seed and defeated Goblin, Light, and Neo. Shoutouts go to Void, who is good but focuses more on content than competing, and I'm, who has the most points on shoe stats but has been in a slump lately, while WebJP has been on a meteoric rise, which is why I'm giving Best Sheik to WebJP. Follow and say the best player of every character in Smash, Part 17, Zelda.
The only Zelda I know is 0 to None. And Ven. But I think ZTN's probably better.
The best Zelda in the world is Wine from Japan, and if you're not following...
Sure, I'll agree. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Yeah, he's from Japan, so he's got to be good.
Following Japan's Smash scene like I am, I wouldn't be surprised if you've never even heard of them. Wine has gotten the best placements at important tournaments of any Zelda player, top 8ing many important Japanese tournaments and racking up wins and impressive upsets against some of their top players. Additionally, Wine does have the most points on shoe stats, but it's actually closer than you might think with some of the other top Zeldas. In terms of shoutouts, one definitely goes to Ven, who is the best Zelda in NA, and additionally I'm going to give one to Naskino because it's really cool to see some European representation, and Naskino has actually top 8'd several big EU tourneys before. Follow and stay tuned for more parts. The best player of every character in Smash, Part 18, Dr. Mario.
Bacon for the best Dr. Mario, because he's the only guy who's playing Dr. Mario. Or Jazar for Wi-Fi, but I mean, all of his results are Wi-Fi though? I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen Jazar get any wins offline. To be fair, I don't think I've seen Bacon get any wins offline either. There's a Japanese Dr. Mario. You're just saying the Japanese doctor because you don't know. Offline players will say Bacon. Although I don't know what either of them have done.
The best Dr. Mario in the world is Jazar from Mexico, who is mostly known as an online Wi-Fi grinder, but has tremendous offline placements as well, like a 2nd place finish at Rey del Agua, as well as placing 2nd at Combo City, 1st at Smash Ace, and 3rd at Bitmaster 11.
Who did he beat?
On top of all of this, Jazar has the most points on shoe stats, though I do want to remind you all that that's not my end-all be-all deciding factor. In terms of shoutouts, one goes out to Sumo Suto in Japan, as well as Poppin, who is a homie of mine from Kansas City. Follow and stay tuned for more parts.
No mention to Bacon? That's insane. That's crazy.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 19, Pichu.
It's either Netoru or the Japanese one that I can't remember his tag right now. I'm going to say probably the Japanese one because he's farming Elo. Yoni P. I think it's probably Yoni P.
The best Pichu in the world is Netoru from France, despite Netoru actually being listed at 2nd place on shoe stats. But again, that isn't my end-all be-all, just my jumping off point.
True.
Netoru has long been one of the best players in France, and indeed, perhaps all of Europe, consistently top 8ing important European tournaments and making big upsets.
I don't know, he just beat and 3-stocked Leo, jeez.
Perhaps the most famous of which being Netoru's win over MK Leo at Ultimate Fighting Arena 2023. In terms of shoutouts, I'm going to give 2, both being to fellow Europeans. The first going to Yeti, who also co-mains Min Min with Pichu.
I don't care about Pichu players. We're moving on. Is this Falco next?
Player of every character in Smash, Part 20, Falco.
Tilde or... Why do I want to say Matsunabe? Is that his tag? Yes, is this Little Z gameplay? Are we sure? No, yeah.
The best Falco in the world, no question, is Little Z, who has been dominating his local... I'm just kidding! Don't click off, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Little Z, but this one commenter has been telling me to make this joke on literally all of my shorts, and who am I to tell the commenter now? In reality, though, the question for Best Falco falls to a debate between either Tilde, Masa, or Motsunabe, with Masa and Motsunabe both being from Japan and Tilde being from the US. Tilde did get third at GOML 2023, which I think is very impressive, but Tilde doesn't have nearly as good top player wins as Masa and Motsunabe did.
This dude's actually... Sorry, you have something to say? You guys hear that car horn? I don't know.
Masa and Motsunabe are actually both really close in terms of good placements and top player wins. So for this one, I'm actually going to consult Shoe Stats, where we can see that Masa has over 2,000 more points than Motsunabe does. So I'm going to give Best Falco to Masa. Shout out goes to Larry Lur. We should, like, totally collab sometime if you want to. Follow and stay.
I love going to my 5-man locals and playing top players. Must be nice.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 21, Marth.
I see MK Leo gameplay. I know of Krieg. I know of Ignace, who no longer plays Marth, as far as I know. And then there's the Japanese guy who plays like every character, but he likes Marth a lot. But regardless of what the answer is here, the correct answer is Leo if he decided to play Marth.
Now, Marth is an interesting case because his best reps aren't actually Marth mains. When you think of Marth, you probably either think of Rizeyasu or MK Leo.
That's
but like I established in my episode on Donkey Kong, in order to be considered for this series, you have to be at least a co-main of that character. So I will not be considering Leo for this episode. Looking at Rizeyasu's character usage in tournament, I would describe him as a Marth and Byleth co-main with a Mii Brawler secondary and about 5 or so other pocket characters. Looking at major tournaments, especially recently, Rizeyasu has actually been using mostly Marth, even more so than Byleth. Looking at Shoe Stats, we can even see that Rizeyasu has more points with the character than Marth mains Ignace, Krieg, or Stretch. So for all these reasons, I'm giving Best Marth to Rizeyasu. Shoutouts to Ignace, who is really good, but if you didn't see, has actually announced today that they're going to be dropping Marth entirely for Yoshi. But we're gonna have to see if they actually commit to this or not. Follow?
No. I don't think Ignace committed. Why wouldn't you just play Lucina?
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 22, Lucina.
Okay, so it would be Proto if he didn't retire, but it's probably Mr. E right now, right? Well, Leon is also another really good Lucina rep, but I feel like it's probably Mr. E at this point.
This one is really hard because we all know that the best Lucina in the world is Proto Banham, no question. I mean, for goodness sake, look at Shoe Stats. Proto quite literally has over double of anyone else in the top 5 here. And I'm not just saying that because he's my favorite player. However, I'm put in a real pickle here because you could very easily make the argument that Proto Banham is inactive and therefore doesn't qualify for this series. I mean, his last tournament was on October 28th and it's December now. But also, inactivity might not be Proto's fault, as we all know that he struggles with medical issues, which is why he had to drop out of Watch the Throne. Personally, I don't consider Proto to be inactive yet. He's almost there, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna say that he's not and give Best Lucina to Proto. Shoutouts go to Mr. E, who made top 8 at the Big House 11 recently, and to Leon, the French one, who is one of my favorite players to see succeed. Follow and stay tuned for more parts. The best...
Bro, you don't know Yumu? What the fuck, man? My fault, guys. My fault. Yeah, Proto's got like health issues and shit. He can't compete. Poor guy. He's nasty.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 23, Young Link.
I feel like the only Young Links I know are like Kobe and Super Semi. It's Super Semi. Go next. They didn't update this yet.
This one is pretty dang hard, as there's quite literally 7 Yinks you could make the argument is the best.
7? Oh, that's like Steve numbers. Young Link is just pre-patch Steve. I figured it out.
Let's go over them one by one and eliminate them from the running as I do. Me going over them will kinda be the shoutouts for today's video. Suinoko has been suffering from a sharp decline in results lately, and Elago just doesn't quite have the top tier wins and placements, but should be noted as the Yink that's on the biggest come up right now. Skittles is somewhat region locked and doesn't go to majors anymore.
I forgot about Skittles.
And Toast also doesn't travel much, but admittedly has good placings when he does. And lastly, Kobe has the best peaks of any Yink, but massively struggles with consistency, having quite a few 49ths and 33rds. That leaves us with Jay Dizzle and Super Semi, who I think are the two best Yinks. Of these two though, I'm gonna give the slight edge to Super Semi for more important placings at EU tourneys and wins over top players like MK Leo.
I thought this was like super recent. I thought that win over Leo was very recent, but I guess not.
Follow and stay tuned for more parts. The best
Those Leo losses, man, you feel them.
player of every character in Smash Part 24, Ganondorf.
Okay, the only one that I know is like major, so it's probably him, right?
This one is harder than you might expect, and we have a lot of contenders to go over, but let's get the easy ones out of the way first. Gungnir is a Japanese player with a long list of good wins, including Omawatsu and Hedo, but is effectively retired as of recently, and so doesn't qualify for this series. Hige-chan
Horseshit.
and is a Japanese Ganondorf player who, theoretically, has the best wins over anyone else in contention for best Ganon. He's beaten Yara, Oi George, Hedo, and even beat Akola. But these are Hige-chan's online results. As far as offline goes, he's beaten Atelier, but that's about it. Since I value offline results more than online, let's keep looking. Major is the only Ganon here not from Japan who's gotten amazing wins over players like Mr. E, Jada, Ludo, MFA, and more, as well as notable placements like 3030 UFA and top 8 in Cascadia Clash. The race for best Ganon is primarily between Major and our last contender, Komegura, another Japanese Ganon that boasts the character's best ever offline placement, 25th at a Major, as well as wins over players like Reno, Jageimo, Nizemama, Masha, and more. I think Major and Komegura are actually pretty close, and their wins are near the same level. However, I'm going to give the slight edge to Komegura for their 25th place finish at a Major and give them the title of best Ganondorf. Follow and stay tuned for more parts. The best player of every character in Smash.
I totally like mentally just fell asleep there. Who's this? Mewtwo?
Player of every character in Smash, Part 25, Mewtwo. This one isn't as hard as you may think. Many people will assume that Mewtwo just doesn't have any players, but that actually kind of makes it easier rather than harder, strangely enough. A lot of people would say that Goryoka from Japan is the best Mewtwo, and he does have the most points on shoe
So many words, so little substance.
stats. However, as I've said many times, I only consider co-mains or above for this series, and I would consider Mewtwo to be a secondary or a counterpick for Goryoka, not a co-main, and therefore not the best
I didn't know you fucking know he played that character. Who's next?
player of every character in Smash, Part 26.
Cola, go next. It's not even close.
Play. This one might be the only episode of this series where everyone will agree with me. I hope. The best Roy in the world is Cola, and oh my goodness, am I glad to be saying that. Remember, ever since MomoCon 2023, Cola was taking a big break from Smash Bros. And for a hot minute, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to include him in this series because I was afraid he'd retire or go permanently inactive.
Goblin?
But thankfully, Cola is back, and at his first major back, Luminosity Makes Moves Miami 2023, he got 5th place and almost got a guaranteed 3rd if he had won Game 5 versus Spargo.
I forgot that he was like retired for a little bit. Honestly, good for him. He probably needed that break.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 27, Chrom.
Okay, I only know of like Lavish and Rivers. I don't think Lavish plays anymore. I don't even know. Maybe Alice. Does Alice play Chrom? I don't know. Leon? Oh, Leon does play Chrom, but I don't know how much he plays it.
This may be the hardest episode I've ever made. The main two contenders being Lax from Japan and Lancelot, who's the best player in Finland. Lax's big breakout was his 5th place finish at Wave number 5 and his 3rd place finish at Maisuma Top 13. Lancelot seems to be playing more and more Roy and less Chrom. Lancelot's beaten players like Quick, Yaka, Tarek, Longo, and more, but he doesn't have nearly as high of peaks and is basically a co-main now.
He just showed a clip. He's like, yeah, Lancelot might be the best player. Anyway, check out him as the Ying.
He's beaten players like Quick, Yaka, Tarek,
Check this
Longo,
out.
and more, but he doesn't have nearly as high of peaks and is basically a co-main now, while Lax is a Chrom main through and through. Lancelot has consistency and a lot of solid placements, but Lax has way higher peaks and better wins. Ultimately, I think Lax's resume is more impressive, and he's got over 1,000 more points on shoe stats, so I'm gonna give best Chrom
Sure,
to
man.
Lax.
Must be nice living in Japan and being able to farm points.
The best player of every character in Smash Ultimate Part 28, Mr. Game & Watch. Well, I was gonna say that Mia was the best Game & Watch, but I don't want you guys to accuse me of being favored towards Japan again, so I guess I'm just kidding. Mia is the best. I mean, for goodness sake, the difference is so big. Mia has nearly twice as many points.
Damn, he's got 12,000 points. My goodness. Holy. Everyone knows the real answer is Zachary when he played Game & Watch for like a year. Next.
The best player of every
Why is he in a different place? Whatever.
character in Smash Part 29, Meta Knight.
Meta Knight. Meta Knight. That one that I played. at that LG tournament was really good, but I don't know if he's number one. I know Abadango plays Meta Knight, so it's probably him. I don't know any other Meta Knights. Oh, wait, Leo? Nah, I wouldn't even give it to Leo.
You guys must be really confused about what's happening right now. I'm sorry about this. I released an original of this short, but I messed it up, all right? I was running out of time because I was going to a local tonight, and I didn't do enough research. It's entirely my bad. And the player I ended up picking is banned in his scene and therefore not eligible for this series. Abadango is also retired, so he doesn't qualify for this series either. So the best Meta Knight in the world is Matara from Japan because he has wins on Mia at Kagiribi 10 and on Neo at China's Tournament Pro 2. Shoutouts go to Show from United States.
He's done it.
The best
He didn't show any gameplay of the guy he was talking about, by the way.
player of every character in Smash, Part 30, Pit, and Dark Pit.
Zachary.
Man, I'm still thinking about yesterday's episode. What a crap show.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 30.
It's over there. Who do you guys think is going to be?
31, Zero Suit Samus. The best ZSS in the world is everyone's favorite pajama-clad content creator, Mars. Yeah. Mars is a weird player because he has the weird ability to, after not doing so for months, just go to any major he wants to and defeat any player he wants to. And while I wish Mars attended more majors, his attendance was definitely good enough for this series, so the best ZSS is going to Mars.
That's really funny because like literally like every time they like my local PR when I like went to like 3 tournaments, they're like he went to just enough. And for the LG rankings, they were like, he went to just enough tournaments to qualify. And I apparently, same here. It's crazy to think I'm that retired.
He's also got the most points on shoe stats, but I mean, you didn't need me to tell you that, did you? Shoutouts go to Doorstop, who is leading the character's meta right now.
That's how fucked we are, Zero Suit players? Really? That's your GOAT? Whatever.
Shu, who is one of my favorite players of all time, as well as Durelius and Happy, both of them being homies from Kansas City. Follow and stay tuned for more parts. The best player of every character in Smash, Part 32, Wario.
Gluttony.
Okay, forget what I said about the Roy video.
Also, yeah, Sharp was like definitely number 2 and he didn't even get a mention. That's awesome. Dude hates him.
Episode is probably going to be the most unanimously agreed upon. The best Wario in the world is the champion of the French Dimension, Gluttony.
I missed the French Dimension memes. Do you guys know how those memes were created? Can I take you on a trip down memory lane? I'll even go full screen for this one. So it was Genesis 8? I don't remember which Genesis it was. It wasn't from Summit, no. I'm pretty sure it was Genesis 8. So they had like the mainstream and they had the dedicated side stream for Smash Ultimate. But this is when the French community like really started like getting super into Smash and like they like started running their own majors, inviting other people, and they got like put way more on the map. If you guys don't already know, like French tournaments go like super hard. They have like these massive arenas for their majors. I'm pretty sure they have like government funding and stuff. Don't call me on that one. I don't know too much about that one. Regardless, so Genesis 8 was like around the beginning of that time when they first started to get super big. So they brought a stream setup to the tournament, and I guess they asked like the Genesis staff if they could just like run stream sets in the back area. And it was hilarious because like, can I actually find a picture of like a Genesis venue so I can like explain this a little bit better. Okay. Wow, this is such a shitty picture. Oh, here we go. Maybe this. Okay. So this is the best I can do to like give you a visualization of like what the venue kind of looks like. But well, actually this is literally Genesis 8. Maybe it was over here, but there was like basically like if you know, they would, if you were going to play a French player or a European player, to be honest, they'd be like, hey, do you mind playing on our stream setup? It's in the back. You know, it's totally fine. and players would go behind this curtain and they would come out losers every single time. And it was like, what the fuck is going on in there? What is happening to these players? And like, basically what would happen is like, you'd go in there, about 10 French dudes would follow in behind you and just silently watch your set. They wouldn't make a fucking peep. And you'd just be playing super quiet. Maybe you have like headphones for audio and you're like, damn, they're not even cheering for their boy. You take a stock, not a peep. You're playing against Gluto, takes a stock. Allez, Gluto! Allez! And that's it. That's all you hear. And then you'd like, it's dark as shit. There, like, cause it's behind this black curtain. You're just surrounded by like 10 other people who are not speaking the same language as you, and it became known as the French Dimension. You would go in there, you'd get handled, and then they'd be like, "Thank you for coming. Thank you for being on stream." It was hilarious. So then that was where the French Dimension was born, and now I love it. I love the French Dimension. That's where I've made some of my greatest plays. Not gonna lie, it was very funny. That's fucked. What the fuck? You don't pronounce the Z in Alez? Thank you. So it's okay. Thank you. Now I know. Imagine if they booed you when you lost. Dude, it's crazy because like you finish your set. Mind you, I've never done this. This is all secondhand information. I wasn't invited to the French Dimension. I don't know how I did this tournament, if I even went. So I would just like imagine that you come out of like this super dark like room, and then it's like it's all bright and like life is just like flourishing and people are being normal, and you're like, did I just come back from an alternate dimension? Like, is this real life? And then yeah, that's how French Dimension was created. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's continue with the actual video.
Who has been a near top 5 player this season, winning all sorts of important tournaments, and most importantly, winning Terra near the beginning of the ranking season. Shoutouts go to Loaf from the United
They just made their own domain. The domaine d'expansion.
States, the best Wario in
Okay,
NA, the best player of every character in Smash, Part
Snake.
33.
Hurt.
Snake,
Next.
the best player of every character in Smash, Part 34. Ike.
Who's the best Ike right now? Used to be Raven King for a little bit. Who's the best Ike right now?
So getting this out of the way
Educate
first,
me.
because I know people are going to bring it up, the best Ike in the world used to be Yez, who, even to this day, still has the most points on shoe stats.
Damn.
However, earlier this year, Yez officially retired, or at least temporarily retired, and therefore, Yez doesn't qualify for this series. But that's fine, because the best Ike in the world right now is Tora, previously known as Tora-san, from Japan. She has great wins over players like Gact and has even defeated a Cola's Roy before,
Tora?
widely considered Ike's worst matchup, played by debatably the best player in the world. Though admittedly,
wait, Ike is Roy's worst matchup? No way.
this tournament probably didn't end up counting for rankings. Shoutouts go to Neo from Kansas City, who I meant to mention in my Roy video. Follow and stay tuned for more parts. The best player of every character in Smash, Part 35, Pokemon Trainer.
Quid?
The main 2 picks here are either Quid or DD, and once again, it's a
Quid.
battle of peaks versus consistency. You all know Quid for his victory at LMBM 2022,
If you say DD, I'm
where he
punching my
became
screen.
the lowest seed ever to win a major, placing first as the 32nd seed. However, his performances after this haven't quite matched it, with a 33rd at next year's iteration and a 17th at LMM 2023. But it certainly hasn't been all bad by any means. DD, who just so happens to have more points on shoe stats, is a far more consistent player, with the crowning achievements for him being 3rd at MomoCon 2023 and 7th at Super Smash Con 2023. However, even though the PT is good, DD's best wins are actually with Steve, with DD being a PT Steve co-main.
That's what I like
For
to
that
hear.
reason, my pick for best PT is going to Quid. Shoutouts go to the
I was about to click off that video and rage.
best player of every character in Smash, Part 36, Diddy Kong.
Biddy bong. It's Tweak.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 37, Lucas.
Lucas. Nightox is one of them, and then Choco Taco's pretty good, but it's probably Nightox because I don't know. He's the only guy I hear his name more than the other ones.
The best Lucas in the world is Nighthawks, who just so happens to have the most points on shoe stats. The best player of every character.
I forgot about Regalo. Forgot he existed. Sonic is Sonic's.
In Smash Part 38, Sonic. The best Sonic in the world is Sonic's, as we all know. If I had talked about Sonic's just last year, I'd have said he was one of the best players to never win a major. But just this year alone, Sonic's won 3. Gommel 2023,
I liked it better when he didn't win majors and would get second at everything. Don't you guys? Because that was such a good meme. He got second at more tournaments than like anyone I know. It's very funny.
The best player of every character in Smash Part 39, King DDD.
I mean, obviously there's Zaki up here. I feel like I should know more DDDs. I mean, Atomisk, but he doesn't. I don't think he plays anymore. Yeah, it's Leviathan.
Christmas
yeah,
today,
no.
and you know what? Now that I think about it, King DDD is actually really similar to Santa Claus. Did I purposefully plan for the D3 episode to be on Christmas knowing this? Absolutely not. The best D3 in the world is Zaki from Japan, and no, I'm not just saying that because it's Japan. Hear me out on this one. Zaki went on one of the greatest before losing to Alice for 5th place. Zaki did Momon, Sasuro, and Kananabe before losing.
Oh, he beat Kananabe. It's an unwinnable matchup for Fox.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 40, Olimar.
It's Shuton. It's not the
We
buzz.
reached episode 40, yes. The best Olimar in the world is Shuton.
Wow.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 41, Lucario.
Sue is definitely not it. It's that Japanese one that beat Mia.
First things first, it goes without saying that the best Lucario in the world used to be Sue
Got
from
GP.
Japan, who made waves with the character back in Ultimate's early days. And while Sue has taken a break from being in the public eye, he's returned recently, this time sporting mostly Terry with a little bit of Lucario still in there. However, nowadays, the best Lucario in the world is Armadillo.
How to
from
get crazy
Canada.
results.
Armadillo has come extremely close to top 8ing majors multiple times now. First at LMBM 2023, where he got 17th, then at Gommel.
All right, we gotta go faster. Whoa.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part
Zombo.
42, Rob.
Not
The
close.
best player of every character in Smash, Part 43, Toon Link.
There's like 3 of them in Japan alone, dude. There's level 1. There's 2 other ones that I can't think of. Yeah.
Can I just point out how all of the world's best Toon Links are centered in Japan? Of the top 6 Tinks, only 1 isn't Japanese, Marvelous Marco.
Oh, Sigma. I forgot about Sigma. He's a funny guy. I've played him once in Smash 4. Played Toon Link.
All the others are in Japan, where Tink is a far more popular and far more
Give me the answer. I think it's
successful
level 1
character
because I saw him
than either
first.
Young Link or Adult Link. What has Japan discovered about this character that no one else hasn't?
Jojo
well, you may want to
Dobo.
ask the best Tink in the world, level 1 from Japan.
Yeah.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 44,
Ouch.
Wolf. This is, once again, the tried and true battle of peaks versus consistency. The biggest peak, Ouch, who just so happens to have the most points on shoe stats, is a far more consistent bracket threat. His big breakout tournament being Battle of BC4.
It's gotta
but he
be Ouch,
actually
bro.
remained an extremely solid bracket threat after that, dominating his scene and being an undisputed top Canadian player. So for that reason, I'm gonna give Best Wolf to Ouch. Shoutouts, which by the way are not meant to be the next best Wolves, they're just people I want to shout out for fun. The best player of every character in Smash, Part 45, Villager.
What's his name? Javi on Earth. I feel like it's him or it's Kept. I guess I played both of them. I think Kept was better, but I played him a long time ago, and I don't know if he still plays.
We're on to the Smash 4 characters. How has time gone so fast? The best villager in the world is Kept from Japan, and even though he has been using more Isabelle lately, he's a villager main through and through. As far as today's
Been using more
meta
Isabelle?
goes, Kept has been at the forefront of villager.
Next.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 46.
Peeb.
Mega Man. Let's get this out of the way first, because a lot of people's first thought when they think of Mega Man will be Kameme. However, as many of you know, I only consider co-mains or above for
He's a
this
Sora
series.
player now.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 47, Wii Fit Trainer.
Oh, what's his name? I saw him play not too long ago. Is it Oolong? Is that his tag? It's right there.
This one is probably going to be surprisingly controversial given how uncommon Wii Fit is. The best Wii Fit in the world is Oolong from the United States.
Yeah.
The best player of
Not
every
John.
character
Oh, Xavier. It's probably him. It's him or Oolong.
in Smash, Part 48, Rosalina.
DeBuzz, go next.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 49, Little Mac.
Isn't there a Japanese one like Tuck something? I don't remember.
Oh boy. The main question of best Little Mac falls between either Peanut, the infamous YouTuber, or Tadakotori, the Japanese Little Mac who is
Tadakotori.
mostly known for almost making it into Watch the Throne. Honestly, the two players in terms of placements and points on shoe stats are really dang close. So I'm gonna use wins to determine this. Peanut's best wins are most likely Anathema, Apollo Kage, Base Mage, and Capitancito, while Tadikotori has a laundry list of great wins over some of Japan's best. We're talking wins over Takara, Aim, Kept, and Umeki, as well as Abadango, and maybe most impressively, Ken.
I don't think it's a mystery as to why this guy has only beaten like all of these players once. You notice that? Same with Peanut. All those like results were like 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5.
Wins over Hikaru, Neo, Senro, Ryuo,
Oh, two.
Gachipi,
Oh, we got
Uto,
some
and
twos.
lastly Kameme. I could keep going, but I'm gonna stop it there for now. Tadikotori has far better wins than Peanut.
That's
the
all
best
you gotta
player
hear.
of every character in Smash,
Tarek.
part 50. The best player of every character in Smash, part 51. Me Brawler.
Me
Guys,
Brawler.
I messed up. Many people, when they think of Me Brawler, will think of Rizeyasu. However, we only consider co-mains or above for this series, and in my Marth episode, I
Maybe Kid?
myself said that
Don't say
Rizeyasu
Isam.
was a Marth Byleth co-main with a Me Brawler secondary, and so his Brawler doesn't count for this series. Of the top 5 brawlers on shoe stats, Rizeyasu is a secondary.
Don't say Esam, bro.
Esam is a secondary, J-Mafia is a secondary, and there's 2 Japanese players who I don't even know who they are. Guys, I'm so unbelievably screwed. The comments on this video are going to be so bad. For the sake of today's video, the best me brawler in the world is Kid from France.
There you go.
The
Nice.
best player of every character in Smash, part 52, me sword fighter.
Do I even want to know the answer to this one? It's Mia. I don't care what he says. It's Mia.
The best player of every character in Smash, part
Capitancito.
53. The best player
Always has
of
been,
every
always will
character
be.
in Smash, part 54, Palu
Louis
Janet.
Money.
There are actually a ton of Palu players making waves lately, and this episode is definitely tricky for the best Palu. Luis and Chag are good, just not quite there yet. And I also want to say
Luis and wait, he put Jagaimo?
that Roflo has had a really good end to 2023, but it's a bit early to say that he's the Palu GOAT. If he keeps this up though, he probably could be.
Oh, it could be
Personally, in
Roflo.
deciding between Jagaimo and Chase, I want to look at their recent results. Chase has had a bit of a slump lately, with somewhat disappointing finishes at LMMM 2023, the Big House 11, and Rising Grand. To contrast, Jagaimo's end of 2023 has been great, winning Sebugeki 16, as well as placing
I didn't know
5th
he
at
was
Delta
still
5
playing, not
and
gonna
Delta
lie.
4, and lastly winning Delta 3. So for that reason, I'm going to give Best Palu to Jagaimo. Shoutout goes to Murabito from Kansas City. Follow and stay tuned for more parts. The best player of every character in Smash, part 55,
Pac-Man.
The best Pac-Man in the best player of every character in Smash, part 56, Robin.
Who's the best Robin? I actually don't know.
The best Robin in the world is Leaf from over in Japan.
Sure.
The best player of every character in Smash,
Shulk.
part 57, Shulk.
Kome.
Despite being the best player
Actually-
of every character in Smash, the best
Okay, so here's the thing. It's either Kome or Nico, but if you look at results, I feel like it's definitely Nico.
player of every character in Smash, part 57, Shulk.
What do I know?
Despite being a bit of a meme in the community, the best Shulk in the world is still Kome from Japan. Long
Why is he
story
a
made
meme?
very short, he's the only one who places relatively well at large tournaments, with a good 9th place finish recently at Mayasuma Top 15. But that doesn't mean that the other Shulks aren't good. Shoutouts for today are going to go to Jared is King 1 from the US.
That dude had like 2 good tournaments and then he just stopped playing. I don't think it's Elijah, man. I know he's got some good stuff. I thought it'd be Nico, bro. Every time I hear about Nico, he's going crazy.
The best player of every character in Smash, part 58,
Boja. It's
Bowser
Zap.
Jr. The best player of every character in Smash, part 59, Duck Hunt.
It's a
You know,
hot
for one-
dog. It's right now. It's Mbozy.
One of Smash Ultimate's most uncommon characters, we actually have a lot of people to talk about. First, we have Raito from Japan, Wisdom from Kansas City, and Sekai Doggo from South America, all of whom don't really use Duck Hunt that much anymore, or don't play that much anymore. Speaking of inactive, we also have Big Duck Hunt Fan 7000, who has one of the biggest upsets of all time over Tweak at Gommel. Next up, we have Peru, Jagabata, and Fawn. All of
That would, dude, losing to someone with the tag Big Duck Hunt Fan 7000 has gotta suck.
whom are good Duck Hunts, but none of them are my pick for the best. That goes to Embo Z, who has some of the most consistent tournament placings with that character. And for that consistency,
I was right.
The best player of every character in Smash, part 60,
Asimo. Not
the
even
best
close.
player of every character in Smash, part 61, Ken.
Jazza
I
or
bet some of you
Takara? I
guys
think it's
forgot we
Jazza.
were doing echoes like this, huh? But just like Ryu, the best representative of this Street Fighter character is the one from Japan, namely Takara. To be honest, a lot of the other Ken
Sure, man.
players are just not as active as I'd like them to be.
Ain't nobody want to play Ken. And everyone who plays Ken plays another character. I guess
The
it's
best
Takara.
player of every character in Smash, part 62.
I want to see how he breaks it to us that it's Spargo.
Cloud. The best Cloud in the world, it's Spargo. Follow and stay tuned for more parts. The best player of every character in Smash, part
Shattuck.
63,
Not Nao.
Corrin.
Actually, has Shattuck... When's the last time Shattuck had a good result, guys? I don't know. Cosmos, correct answer.
A few months ago, I probably would have said that it was Nao, the Japanese Corrin, who just so happens to have the most points on shoe stats. However, given recent trends, I'm actually going to go ahead and say that Shattuck from the United States is the best Corrin in the world.
The recent trends that he's referring to is picking the Japanese players for all the characters.
Nao has been in a pretty significant slump lately ever since SmashCon, while Shattuck has been on nothing but a meteoric rise, making top 8 at LMMM and the Big House, as well as winning Low Tier City 7 and Santa Paws. Not to mention he won the grudge match between the two of them at Super SmashCon. The best player of every character in Smash, part 64, Bayonetta.
Lima.
This one is a particularly tricky one, as some of you pointed out that it's between the Triforce of Lima, Bloom Forever, and Tamapi Daifuku, all of whom are a lot closer in skill than you might think, even being ranked
Right now it's
similarly
Lima,
on
100%.
shoe stats. This is actually a really tight race, but for my money, today, right now, I'm gonna give the best Bayo to Bloom Forever.
They did take turns being the best. It's Lima's turn being the best right now.
The best player of every character in Smash, part 65, Inkling. We've finally...
This dude pre-fired his answer for Inkling, and I feel like I have to read it. He doesn't play Inkling enough. Sure, man. It's definitely Shirayuki.
made it to the Smash Ultimate newcomers. Tell me, dear viewers, are you prepared for this series to end? The main toss-up for Best Inkling is between Showers and Shirayuki,
Fuck
both
is
from
Showers?
Japan. I think it's a very close race, to be honest with you, but in the last few months of 2023, Shirayuki top-8'd several
It's not
majors.
Cosmos. He doesn't
and
play
I think
it.
that gives Shirayuki a slight edge. So for that reason, I'm going to give Best Inkling the
Shirayuki.
best player of every character in Smash, part 66, Ridley. The best Ridley in
Mezcal.
the world is Mezcal, who is the best player of every character
Ricky.
in Smash, part 67, Simon and Richter Belmont.
I don't even think that the guy that's playing right now, I don't even know if he plays anymore still.
The best Belmont in the world is still T3 Dom. Even
Sure.
though Dom has been a bit inactive lately, it's still recent enough to give Dom the title of best
Sure.
Belmont. The best player of every character in Smash, part 68.
Ball is my answer because I've seen him recently, but it's probably Brujo.
King K. Rool. The best K. Rool player in the world is Lukewarm, formerly known as
Oh,
Kirby Kid.
really?
If you didn't know that Kirby Kid actually rebranded as Lukewarm, don't worry, I didn't know that either for an embarrassingly long time. But yeah, best K. Rool is pretty definitively Lukewarm, but a surprisingly close second place goes to Brujo, who could overtake Lukewarm in the future. A super
I think he
special
did.
shout out is going to go to Onua from Kansas City.
Yeah, whatever. I think Brujo at this point is the number one. K-Roll.
The best player of every character in Smash, part 69, Isabelle. Why?
Kept.
Why did Isabelle have to be part 69? This is not nice. A lot of people will probably bring up Kept in this discussion, as Kept has been playing more and more Isabelle lately. However, I actually consider Kept's Isabelle to be a secondary, and as we only consider co-mains or above.
Didn't you say in the Villager video that he's been playing more Isabelle recently? Did I misremember that?
For this series, his Isabelle doesn't qualify. And so, the best Isabelle in the world is Yaka from Switzerland. Yaka is the best player.
I don't think I've ever even heard of that guy.
The best player of every character in Smash, part 71, Piranha Plant.
Lucky.
We're finally to the DLC, the last stretch of this series. The best Piranha Plant in the world is Lucky from the United.
Thank you, Cosmos, for the humble dono of one set. And title of best. P-Plant.
Best player of every character in Smash, part 72, Joker.
McLeo.
The best Joker in the world is, say it with me folks, MK Leo.
Wow.
The best player of every character in Smash, part 73.
I think it's Pauly B. I think it might be Pauly B and not... Wait. Nah, I don't think it's Pauly B. I think it's Akakasu. Damn it. I want it to be Pauly B.
Hero. The main question of best hero is between Beast Mode Paul from the US and Akikusu from Japan. And to be honest, a few months ago, I would have given it to Akikusu.
I don't know how to pronounce
But
it.
recent victories over Shiny Mark Cola, Big D, Andres FN, Siski, and most notably Gluttony has propelled Beast Mode Paul just over Akikusu as the
Let's
world's best hero.
go! Happy to be
Shoutouts
wrong.
go to, and buckle up, we've got a lot here. Kamisake from Japan, Nair
Nope.
from the best player of every character in Smash, Part 74, Banjo
Toriguri.
and Kazooie. The best player of every character in
Riddles.
Smash, The best player of every character in Smash, Part
Leo.
76,
Or is he not going to count it because it's a secondary?
Byleth. I haven't had a controversial episode in quite a while. I'm giving the title of Best Byleth to MKLeo. Yes, I know that MKLeo said he won't be playing Byleth anymore.
But that is
but
pepperoni
he
and
said
cheese.
that in regards to the future. As far as right now goes, he's used Byleth as recently as UFA versus Rafflo. And even though he's used mostly Joker in these last few months, I think when it comes to all of the best player of every character in Smash, Part 77, Min Min.
I mean, if it's not Proto, it's the one from Japan. I think it starts with a D. What's his Doramigi? That's the one.
A lot of people still think that Proto Banham is the best Min Min, and in my Lucina episode, I did give it to Proto because I didn't think he was inactive enough to not be considered. But also, I gave it to him because no one else had really stepped up into that mantle of top 8ing or winning majors. That's not the case with Min Min. The best Min Min in the world is Doramigi from Japan.
Yep, love being
the
right.
best player of every character in Smash, Part 78, Steve.
It might be
oh
a cola.
boy, the best Steve in the world. I wonder who it could be. It's a cola. Ranked the best player of every character in Smash, Part 79, Sephiroth.
Ken doesn't really play Sephiroth anymore, huh? Because I feel like his Sephiroth was really good when he did want to play it. But no one really mains Sephiroth is kind of the thing. I don't think it's Tweak. Quandale Dingle Lingleton, true. Ned, I guess? I don't think it's Ned. I don't think that dude's been to a tournament in like a bajillion million years. There's like that one, I think, Portuguese player that like actually mains Sephiroth. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like actual Sephiroth mains, and that's the only one I can think of.
This one is the hardest DLC character to do. The top 5 Sephiroths on shoe stats don't actually main him. Most notably, Tweak and Ken's Sephiroths are both solidly secondaries, not co-mains or above, so neither of them qualify. However, our saving grace is Ned, who is still definitely a Sephiroth main, despite having a few secondaries. Ned has the best wins and highest tournament placings of any of the Sephiroth contenders. And so, I'm giving best Sephiroth to Ned. My main 2 shoutouts today are going to go to Shrix from Australia, probably the best solo Sephiroth, as well as M4E from Italy.
Oh,
Both
it's Italy,
of these players
not Portugal. My fault.
Potentially become the best Sephiroth in the world in the future. The best player of every character in Smash, Part 80, Pyramithra.
It's either Shuton or Cosmos, and I think recently it's maybe Cosmos? I don't know. Shuton had a hot streak. I don't know if he's still doing it.
The best
Probably
Pyramithra,
Shuton.
aka Aegis, player in the world is Shuton from Japan.
Yeah.
One of the true co-mains of Smash Ultimate, Shuton becomes the second person to win multiple episodes in this series for both Olimar and Aegis. Shoutouts for today are going to go to Cosmos from the US, as well as Space from the Netherlands. And lastly, more shoutouts go to MJ Jesus, as well as the best player of every character in Smash, Part 81,
Riddles.
Kazuya. The best Kazuya in the world is either between T from Japan or Riddles from Canada.
Actually, I feel like T has some pretty good peaks. I mean, I know his Kazuya beat Spargo, which is very good. I don't know who else it's beaten though. Like Loki might be T. But T plays Kazuya out of like hatred. You know what I mean? He plays Kazuya knowing he's going to play like a scumbag. So I hope it's not him. Or maybe I do. Hopefully it vindicates me.
But with T in a slump lately, and his best wins and placements being with Pac-Man, I think most people would agree that the title of Best Kazuya should go to Riddles. This makes Riddles the 3rd and final player to win multiple episodes in this series, joining MKLeo and Shuton, this time for Terry and Kazuya. My 2 big shoutouts today are the best player of every character in Smash, Part 82,
It's coming, man.
Sora. The best Sora in the world is Kameme from Japan. No one has taken Sora to the heights that Kameme has, and I for one am very glad that Kameme finally found the character that clicks with him. My main shout out today is going to go to Death Spade, who is not only our Kansas City shout out for today, but who is also the best Sora in North America.
There you go. I feel like I got most of these right, and like a lot of the answers changed over time too. But hey, if I, you know, it's cool. If I were to go to a tournament tomorrow, I'd still be the best Zero Suit. If I were to go 0-2, I'd still be the best Zero Suit. Cause I'm him. I'm Himothy. I'm Hemington. But got most of these answers right. I feel like a lot of them changed over time because most of these videos were released in 2023. This one was released in actually February of 2024, but we're like a quarter of the way through 2025 right now. So some of it's a little outdated. Some of it's still pretty accurate, which is actually kind of cool. I like Legacy like that, you know? You're just delusional? Incorrect. Isn't there a random one? Wait, you're right.
The best player of every character in Smash, Part 83, Random. Please do not take this episode very seriously. What do I mean by random? I mean someone who, when they look at the character select screen, pick the question mark. Not someone who just plays a lot of characters like Rizeyasu. The best random in the world is Kumaneko from France.
Really?
Random is Kumaneko's second most played character. And out of all the contenders, Kumaneko has used Random for the most games and has the best win rate, winning 73% of 291 games. This is better than
That's
our
actually pretty
runner-up,
good.
Bloom Forever, who has only played 183 games of Random and has a lower win rate of 68%. My two shoutouts today are going to Luke Chito, #1 on shoe stats, despite the fact that I can't find any VODs of their Random, as well as Hollow from the United Kingdom. Tomorrow, I'm releasing one more short to wrap up this series. So save
Let's see
your
it.
goodbye. And so, the best player of every character series is finished. But two questions remain that I will answer in today's short. One, will I ever come back to redo this series? And two, what's next? I do not plan to come back and redo this series
you
as
do.
players get better or worse. As far as right now goes, though, I actually do have one revision. The only episode that I would go back and change is my Snake episode, which I gave to Apollo Kage,
I skipped that one. Oh!
but I should have given to Hurt from Japan.
I was right
I'll
anyway.
go over why in the comments of the YouTube short if you're interested. But the Snake episode is the only one where I believe my choice was wrong. Everything else, I stand by. So what's next for me? Well, that's up to you. Option A is making a series where I make a mini guide for every character. Option B is a series going over every character's best and worst matchup.
Okay, now we've watched everything. Thank you for watching the video. Like and comment and subscribe and tell me if you disagree with any of his opinions or my opinions. I'd love to read it and I will definitely reply. Don't check. I love you. Bye. Iron Man, pretty please. Have you been so good? He didn't give #1 ancient Sumerian king for Gilgamesh. Bro, with the I love you bye. Yeah, I did. See, can I squeeze out any more YouTube videos before... Yeah, you know, I think we can.
One, I have a mini series on the channel called Badly Designed Ability.
All right, here we go. We're doing one more video for the day, boys. Yes, this is my third video for the day. More content, more content, more content, more content. Hey, content, 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 content. Hey, content, content, content. Hey. So, y'all know Vars the Third, right? Look at this guy. Look at this dude. Look at Vars the Third. He makes a lot of really good educational content. He's a fucking man. He makes so much good stuff. He's got a lot of YouTube channels dedicated to a bunch of different games. But this one, Vars the Third, it's all Smash related stuff. Look at these thumbnails. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at all this educational shit that you want to know all about. These characters need reworks. Hardest character in the game to play. Stuff you shouldn't pick up. Why no one plays Pichu. Why, yeah, like stuff like that. It's all stuff that's cool to know, especially if you're trying to get into the Smash scene and you want to be more in the know before you go to a tournament, before you actually sink your teeth in. Shout out to Vars. I have a video with him, not to brag or anything. We're kind of like this, we're kind of like this now. So I call him Varsity, his full name. Vars Virum, his full name, because we're cool like that. Yeah, so he made this video, unfair moves in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So we're going to watch the video, we're going to react, and we're going to see if we agree with what he talks about, and we're going to go into Elite Smash and maybe spam some of these unfair moves. Alright, first 3 moves that come to mind. Chat, you guys can give 1 for this answer. First unfair move that comes to mind as soon as you think of unfair moves. I'm going to give 3. Shulk, Monado Arts. Steve pressing the B button down, and Bowser side B. Let's move it.
Bars 1, I have a mini-series on the channel called Badly Designed Abilities, wherein I go through abilities in League of Legends that are known to cause problems for the game, either based on their concept or application. In a competitive game, there's a never continuous
Falcon Knee, you're stupid.
balance between making something strong enough so that the person using it feels like they're getting something worthwhile from it, but not too strong to where it diminishes room for counterplay, also known as being disproportionately unfair. Smash Ultimate's another competitive title with a wide selection of characters and an even wider selection of moves. While they more or less attempt to be kept within the scope of their respective categories' functionality,
Mario's
Ultimate has
backer
by
is
far
pretty
the
unfair.
widest scope of what
It's Bear.
the character is capable of. So I figure it would make for a fun discussion to talk about unfair moves in Smash Ultimate. Moves in Smash, as you know, are loosely defined by the direction of their input. Alongside that, compared to the likes of League, where champion abilities can be literally anything the character design team wants them to be, constraints for Smash moves are much more structural in that you have a preconceived notion for what to expect from, say, a neutral air to a forward tilt to an up smash.
Video's a bit quiet, my fault. I have it on like max volume though. You gotta blame him. Maybe this will help.
And such. This often leads to characters having attacks that appear very similar to each other, a notable example being virtually every Fire Emblem sword fighter possessing an arcing half-moon swing for their up aerial. As
Those window wiper up airs are definitely OD.
far as normals go, it can be hard to nitpick what is truly unhealthy for the game, since by design, they're meant to do what their move category obligates them to do. With that said, I have 6 moves to go through, so we have a lot of material to cover. Let's not waste any more time and get started. Quite possibly the most unfair move in Smash Ultimate by a significant margin would be Steve's neutral B, more specifically block placement. By consuming materials in his inventory, Steve can place down a block, which...
This literally does everything, by the way. The neutral B, it's like... It's God. It scales your character to be stronger by holding the B button. You can edge guard with it. You can get at a disadvantage with it. You can zone with it by literally making a wall. You can like hold stocks with it way harder. Like the only thing it doesn't do is like juggle, and that is arguable.
She can then
You could sit inside a horse, dude. The Trojan horse technique.
stand on to treat like any other solid piece of terrain. This effectively enables him to instantiate walls and platforms of his own accord, whether on the ground or in the air, creating interactions that essentially no other cast member can even remotely replicate.
Popped a wheelie.
Smash Ultimate's a platform fighter, therefore positioning, especially while airborne, represents an instrumental factor in gameplay experience, and the basis by which all other 88 characters are balanced around. Being able to create solid platforms at will, notably in the air, not only doesn't accurately follow Steve's own source material in Minecraft, where you can't place blocks on thin air through normal means, but it grants privileges to the character that fundamentally betray the established rules of the game. Or, putting it bluntly, it's just outright not fair. Steve plays by an entirely separate set of rules, or should I say lack thereof, than everyone else in the roster. Neutral B can be used in neutral, advantage, and disadvantage to provide superiority for Steve in all 4 metrics, increasing his offense, increasing his defense, decreasing his opponent's offense, and decreasing his opponent's defense. Block
True
is literally the equivalent of everyone play fighting with Nerf guns, while Steve comes in with an actual live ammo gun. At the same time, it's a move that's so integral to Steve's ability to function due to his uniquely poor movement physics that
I will not be going into Elite Smash and playing Steve though.
if he didn't have this ability, Steve would actually be one of the worst characters in the game. So not only is it the most unfair move in the game, but Steve's overdependence on it also ends up making it one of the worst designed moves in the game as well.
Bro, just one block killed
on
him?
it also ends up making it one of the worst designed moves in the game as well. Next move is going to be Snake's Grenade. I'm sure a number of you are surprised to even hear this attack being mentioned, but
You think Snake's Grenade is unfair? I think that's the epitome of he needs it. Like, I know it's frame 1, but at least he trades.
allow me to elaborate. The underlying purpose of a zoner is to, as the name suggests, establish control of a zone or area through usage of projectiles, disjoints, and whatnot, rendering the space hazardous for the opponent. The win condition of the opposing player, provided they are not a zoner as well, is to attempt to wrest control of that area away from the zoner. In other words, break that zone, usually to get him close to the zoner. In general, zoners have to relinquish close quarters pressure for their zoning faculty, so the idea is that if a brawler type character can close that distance and stay near their opponent at all times, they should have the upper hand. For most zoners, that dynamic is indeed present. However, part of what puts Snake in the top 5 best characters in the game is due to the fact that he's the only zoner who doesn't have this weakness. Most of that stems from Grenade, a modest projectile that deals respectable damage. However, it doesn't really pose a threat to one's stock in and of itself. What makes it so frustrating is that it comes out frame 1 and contains an active hurt box, meaning if an attack were to collide with the grenade, it will automatically explode even if it's held in Snake's hand. At the cost of a small amount of damage, Snake is able to break out of any non-true combo, mitigating what would otherwise have maybe been a 40 to 60%.
I cannot stress this enough. He literally needs it. You know? My old buddy was a Snake man. It was hard to learn the game playing against him. That's fair. He's not a traditional character by any means.
And combo, or even a kill setup into just 20% damage or something like that. When also accounting for him being heavy, it's a price well worth paying to survive longer. Among other applications, this very property is what forces players to approach the game in a completely different way when fighting Snake than if they were to fight any other zoner. The fact that you can't recklessly attack him despite being in a position to do so, even so much as having your own offense being turned against you, is what makes Grenade feel so unfair, despite the projectile itself being far less of a threat than the likes of Charge Shot or any other projectile that can kill. If not for the frame 1 startup, I think this move would be far more tolerable. Next move is going to be Sonic's Spin Dash, an attack that, like the previous two, has been notoriously characterized for single-handedly changing the way you have to play the game against him. At a surface glance, there doesn't appear to be much of an issue with this side beat. On a fairly decent startup, it does a moderate amount of damage and pops opponents in the air for a potential follow-up attack with any of his aerials. Seems innocuous enough, there are plenty of other burst moves.
The only reason I disagree with the Snake part is because like Snake Grenade is obviously very broken. There's no like argument about that. It's definitely very good, but I think it's one of the more balanced moves. I don't think it's like unfair. Like he has like a frame 1 escape option. Sure, that's pretty crazy to have, but it's not an escape option. He trades with you, you know, and it's not like it's totally unbeatable. Like you can, like that's like calling like Luigi Cyclone broken because it's a frame 1 escape option, and it, like as an escape option, it's technically better because it's invincible. He doesn't even trade if he hits you with it, you know? Whereas, like, there are so many characters that can just, like, read Snake forward airing. I'm sorry, am I stupid? That can read Snake just pulling a grenade, grab him, and then instantly throwing him, which will do throw damage, and it'll pop the grenade, which is, like, maybe 20 plus damage. And you got hit by a grenade, so it's going to combo into something, too. So you can, like, rack up damage super fast if you read a grenade, you know? Outside of being a frame 1 escape option, it's still very good. But, you know, there's a 4-second timer on the projectile, man. Just throw it back at him. I am not in this boat of, like, Snake Grenade is this god move. It's obviously very good, but I don't think it's unfair.
Movement options in the game. What makes this one so offensive then? What burst options have in speed they lack in safety, the user has to take a risk to close that space and attack their target. If they guess or time wrong, they could easily get out of shielded or whip punished. Such concepts apply to most if not every gap closer in the game. Diddy Kong Sidebeat, Terry Crackshoe, Fox Illusion, Bayonetta ABK, although that one is dubiously punishable, so on and so forth. Alternatively, you can attempt to knock them out of their burst option with a projectile of some sort, as most of them have negative priority or a negative hurt box, meaning even against a weaker move, they could still get knocked out of it. Sonic's Spin Dash is inherently unfair courtesy of circumventing both weaknesses. For starters, it grants intangibility during the first 6 frames of the attack, which may not seem like a lot, but Spin Dash can travel an extremely far distance in that short a time. In addition, compared to other burst movement options, it can travel an indefinite length that doesn't have a fixed distance, rendering whiff punishing ineffective. Shielding is also ill-advised due to it being arguably the most positive attack on shield, up to +11. All best to say, it's straight up impossible to add a shield Sonic side B. Put together, Spin Dash is the best burst movement option in the game, and might even be the best side special in the game depending on the situation. Granted, there are many other reasons why Sonic Side B is cracked. Being a burst movement option, it can aid in recovery, breaking zone control, edge guarding, pressuring neutral, and whatnot. But the main reason behind Spin Dash's unfairness is that the two ways to conventionally punish a burst movement option does not apply to it, allowing Sonic to get away with a lot more than he should be able to. Since I'm making a video on unfair moves, I'd be remiss to not include the best combo starter in the game by leaps and bounds, Kazuya's Electric Wind God Fist. If I were to be objective, as far as combo starters go, it may statistically not appear to be that much better. Similar grounded scoop-ups can put you in a situation equally as punishing and may also be easier to fish for a neutral or have more range. Kazuya's Electric Wind God Fist is problematic on account of 3 factors, which once again, just like the other moves I talked about so far, take away the weaknesses that normally balance a move like this. Factor number 1, punishability. Combo starters, especially grounded ones, may be fast and effective when they land, but the obvious—
I like the point he's making right now that most like broken combo starters, or like most good combo starters, are like pretty punishable, but a lot of the best characters in the game don't have their combo starter be punishable. Looking at you, Steve. Looking at you, Kazuya. Looking at you, other broken characters I can't think of off the dome. But Kazuya's Electric is insane because if you shield it, it pushes you out of shield, and it also, if you try to contest it, it's fully intangible. And stuns you! And 0 to deaths you! Ooh.
Obvious caveat is if they land. If they happen to get blocked, most people can simply grab, up smash, up special, or aerial out of shield and punish them for doing so. The other option is to attempt to strike them first, or with a move that has disjointed range. No such luck for Kazuya's Electric. To begin with, the attack knocks opponents out of shield, effectively making it unpunishable since no out of shield option is fast or long enough to attack him after the pushback. Not to mention, the attack itself does a ton of shield damage. Factor number 2 is that—
Dude, it does shield damage too. Like, it makes sense that it does shield damage because it hits your shield, but it also pushes you out of shield. Why does it do that?
And attempting to strike first or with a disjoint's out of the question as well. He's effectively invincible during the move's startup. Any attempts to outspeed him get thrown out the window then and there. Attacking with a disjointed move doesn't work either. He'll just ignore it and go straight through. So you'll have to use a move with exceptionally long range like Sephiroth forward air to keep a safe distance, but even then the best result you get is nothing. By all accounts, EWGF is an unchallengeable move. You can attempt to parry it, or if playing a faster character you can get out of range and go straight in, but with only 24 frames of end lag, you have to be standing right next to him and know with all certainty that you're far enough away, ready to input your fastest move to punish him, essentially making it next to unfeasible for the majority of the cast to punish an electric on reaction. Then factor number 3, attacking from the air is also a no-go as it has a generous anti-air hitbox. I feel like the biggest offense with this move lies not in its ability to combo you from 0 to death, not entirely at least, rather in that he's allowed to spam the attack at minimal exposure to himself, which only makes the staggering potential reward he gets upon landing it that much more infuriating.
Insane,
Ultimate has no shortage of attacks that can be thrown out without care or consideration for possible repercussion, but none of them come anywhere close to exploding you the way Kazuya does. It would be like if Cloud's back air dealt the same damage and knockback as his forward smash. Electric Wind God Fist is not challengeable and barely punishable in realistic settings. Next one's not really a move, more a property, but I want to talk about Mithra's Foresight. You rarely see people mention—
I like that he's mixing it up and not really going for a move here, but Foresight is insane because it's just Bats Within on crack. Because it gives you a punish window. There's so many characters that rely on like frame traps and like abusing like characters like air dodge frame data and stuff. Right? If you air dodge through my move, you put yourself in a worse situation, or I still get to punish you. But Mithra is just like, oh, actually, I'm in advantage now. GG's. I changed the rules.
Mention this when discussing an unfair or broken move, mostly because of the fact that it's not technically considered a move. But once more, just like with the other moves I talked about, Foresight fundamentally overrides one of the core interaction elements in Smash, Advantage State. When successfully landing a move on your opponent, the two of you now have transitioned from neutral to advantage and disadvantage state. From here, the options you have vastly outnumber the options your opponent has depending on the situation. Your priority is to maintain advantage by pressing the attack through combos and follow-ups, or by reading the opponent's disadvantage options to then press the attack further. On the other hand, your opponent's priority is to reset back to neutral, minimizing any damage or threat to their stock as quickly as they can. The most straightforward way—
Or if you're greedy like me, fish for reversals the entire game.
To do so, especially in the air, is by air dodging, which does work fairly consistently over time. However, even if you air dodge, you're still technically in a position of disadvantage until you hit solid ground and are actionable afterwards. Mithra, on the other hand, is the one exception to that, and it's all because of Foresight. Bayonetta does carry Bat Within, behaving similarly to Foresight. However, unlike Bat Within, Mithra's Foresight comes with a slowdown effect, reminiscent of Witch Time. A shorter duration, thank god, but enough to where when accounting for her blinding speed, enables her to initiate basically any counterattack she wants, completely reversing the advantage and disadvantage between the two players. In other words, if you're not close to frame perfect on your combos, you'll not only fail to extend your advantage, but you could be thrown into the exact opposite situation of her being in a position to break you apart. An elementary task when you remember she's arguably one of the best jugglers, landing catchers, and tech chasers in the game. Adding further insult to injury, Mithra can initiate a Foresight at a shield, giving her the exclusive privilege of being able to punish attacks that are safe on shield. I believe she gets around a 20 frame advantage or more depending on if it's a roll or spot dodge. Yes, it's actually better to Foresight on Mithra than parry since you get much more time to input a killing option. Really, the only thing keeping this move remotely fair is that Mithra herself doesn't have a ton of kill power, even her smash attacks are weak. If she had something as strong as Bayonetta forward smash, people would be complaining about this a lot more, but to reiterate, this move, like the others, breaks one of the foundational rules of the game. Last one I wanted to—
I think it's super cool when Foresight is used intentionally, to be honest, on like projectiles or something. I kind of agree with that. I wish it only worked on projectiles and not normal moves. Because I think like characters having like innate counterplay to like projectile spam, which is like an annoying part of the game and it always has been, I feel like that's just a good idea.
Talk about is Shulk's Monado Arts, Shield Arts specifically.
Hey.
Next to Steve Block, players generally look to be in agreement that Monado Arts is by far the best neutral beat in the game for its sheer versatility. It is the very lifeblood that fuels the copium of Shulk mains believing their character is top 5 despite the game being out for 6 years and we still haven't seen a Shulk in top 8 at a P-tier event. Anyway, by this point, if you haven't noticed the trend with the moves I'm talking about, then I don't know what to tell you. Shield Art, for one more time, breaks one of the fundamental rules of interactions in Smash. At the expense of practically all of his offensive mobility, Shulk becomes nigh indestructible. I believe he's able to withstand killing blows even at sudden death %. Not just that, but in light of taking less damage, he also suffers less hit stun, allowing him to literally escape true combos. At the very least, for Snake and Mithra, if the combo's beyond a shadow of a doubt true, they still get hit by all the attacks. Shulk, on the other hand, can break out of even multi-hit moves when you combine Shield Art and the intangibility upon activating an art. For example, he can escape out of a cross slash, I speak from experience, and I believe he can even escape out of a Bowser Whirling Fortress. Don't quote me on that though. Pressuring his shield with attacks becomes next to impossible too.
Is that edited? He can take a fully charged shield breaker with shield art?
Shield becomes so durable he can withstand—
That can't be real.
The fully charged shield breaker from Marcina, Flare Blade from Roy and Chrom, and other guaranteed shield breaks like Volcano Kick and Bowser Bomb. The main point of Shield Art is to basically stall for time, whether to stall for his other Monado Arts to come off cooldown or to extend his stock for more opportunities to score extra credit, but they decided there should be more technical usage with this. So they allowed Shulk to escape true combos or even midway through attacks by switching to shield and then immediately switching to another move to score a counterattack. While not as pervasive due to Shulk being far less popular and the tech being very tight to execute compared to a Foresight or a Grenade, it does not change the fact that Shield Art's a crime against humanity and I will die on that hill no matter how bad Shulk is on the tier list. See, there's a difference between bending the rules of the game and breaking it. People might denounce me as someone who wants every character to be boring and straightforward, but it's a bit different than that. Characters should be allowed to have their own strengths and weaknesses. Things become a problem when they're allowed to ignore constraints that affect everyone else in the cast. That's when I take issue with the move or character, as should you. But what do you guys think about my choices? Do you agree with them, or do you think others deserve more attention? You're welcome to share in the comments down below.
What do the comments say? Spin dash block and electric to Gammon. This guy, he gets it. Okay, no, it's just people complaining. Sweet. Alright, well, we're going to take some unfair moves that we think are in the game, and we're going to spam them. Because how else am I going to prove my point, you know? I think in the conversation for other unfair moves are charge shot, because what were they cooking? What else do we got? He picked a lot of top tiers, you know? Incineroar side V, no, that one's fair. There's at least a commitment there, you know? Game & Watch's up Bs, you know? Or his Nair. Lots of horse shit there. Let's see, what do we got? I like rarely use Foresight intentionally, but it's so good. If I knew how to do electric combos, I would simply play Kaz. Yeah, haha. Guys, Snake is balanced. His grenade isn't broken, watch. I will mash B button, and I won't win. Five minutes. Wait, guys, grenade might be broken. Oh yeah, he's literally given up already. But you guys can agree it's his fault, right? Whoa, see, why isn't that moving in the video? Time him out. Okay, Loki, you might be right. You don't blame him? Throw those grenades back, man. Oops. Who's he back, Aaron? I want to time him out. He's just not approaching me, guys. This is his fault, right? Guys, maybe this move is broken. I definitely like am simply relying on this and nothing else. I've decided I want to time him out, so that's what I'm gonna do, goddammit. Oh, he didn't DI properly. My autopilot kicked in. All right, more unfair moves. Charge shot is up there. Mario up air is low-key up there. Luke is there if you ask. Light. Fox is a character, like Loki, right? Fox is fall speed. Alright, check it out. Watch as I win with one move. Oh, you... Oh. It's not working. Basically all of the decisions like that he would make in neutral is because of charge shot. You know what I mean? Okay, why didn't I grab the ledge? Because now he has to respect charge shot like any given point, which means he's going to jump a lot more. Hence why forward air is so good. Even uncharged, it's still really good too. It fucking combos. I wonder if this would combo. Okay. It makes your opponent rage quit. Corrin up air. He actually briefly mentioned that in the video. All those like window wiper up airs. Those are super spammable. It's funny they gave it to Sephiroth, but they like balanced the hell out of it, and it's super slow. It's like technically larger than all of the other ones, but like, who cares? Somebody wasn't having fun anymore. Isn't that so weird? Like, why is this hitbox moving that fast at that size with this little end lag? Why did they do that? I think if I wanted to, I could get this guy from 0 to 100 with just up air. Shall we try? We'll see. $39. Have I proven my point? And 0 to 1. Oh. So those up airs. Oh, did he just kick his router? Jesus Christ. Not enough data. That was just a coincidence. No, really. Why did it just start like lagging this bad? Oh, we rage quit. Okay, I've gotten 2 rage quits by spamming broken moves over and over, guys. I don't think it's a coincidence. Maybe Vors was onto something. The hell is this AI cooking up? I forgot I'm fighting against an AI. And I can't just stare at them being stupid. Is pin broken or just annoying? Low-key it's broken, but it's like situationally broken. It's like the only balancing factor is the situations you can use it in, I guess. What else do we got? Falcon up, that move is unfair. I mean, it's not unfair, it's just obnoxious. He didn't even mention Bowser side B, but check this out. Omasi, thank you for the 30 months. Link Nair. That one's very good, honestly. It might be. That might go in there. Joker Gun is also another good answer. Let's make this obnoxiously large hitbox. Like the size of a projectile, right? But you can't reflect it or absorb it. Yeah, welcome to Suplex City. Here we go. Here we go. Just shield it, man. Imagine if I was using my other moves in contention with this. Oh, you were in the air? That doesn't mean you're safe from grab, buddy. Alright, now let's see why this move is truly super freaking cool. I'm pretty good, right? And I'm not gonna rematch. Cool move, right, guys? I mentioned Mario up air. Let's just do that for like 5 minutes straight. I got cheesed? No, no, no. It's honest gameplay, good games. Thank you for coming to my chat. You know what? Since you're here, I'm going to use you as a social experiment. Did you feel outplayed? Did you feel like what I did was fair to you? Answer honestly. Didn't ask you, Jenny. He said I got cheesed. Wait, I don't know. I don't know when he said that. No. Well, it's high-key my fault for getting hit by it, but was it fair? But was it fair? That's the under the question. Now, do you guys think he's not doing anything about up air by choice? Nah. There you go. Thank you. It's unfair. Ask the victims. If I actually spaced that correctly, I probably would have killed him. Oh, how did that miss? I'm not even looking at the game, by the way, and I'm just up airing over and over. That's how cool this move is. Oh. Dumbass. Oh, true. Why did I stop up air? He's figured me out. Dude, are you trying to air me right now? Don't do that. My up air will win. Uh-oh. Okay, that's an unfair move. I just got shield poked at full shield. Mind you, he now expects me to mash up air, so let's see if he can do anything about it. Hmm. What a cool combo. Can't believe that spiked. What else do we got? How else can we make people just give up? Guys, which Game & Watch move am I gonna pick? Is it Nair? Is it up air? Is it up B? If you guessed all three, that's right, you win! One Mithra versus Game & Watch match. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't sign up for this. Up B every time they approach? You're right. Broken are the moves that you know your opponent's gonna do, and then you just can't really do much about it. Okay, guys. Remember that the video was initially about Aegis, so. If you wanted to up, he had a shield. I got the character for him. One little bacon bit. There you go, there's Mithra. Will I get hit with Foresight? Let's see if he'll use it. Well, bad Mithra player, he didn't watch the Vars video. Delicious. Oh, he did it. You see, why did I spot dodge when I should have upbeat? Come off stage. Come on. Hey, Nova. Whoa, buddy. You just got gimped by a 4. I don't even know what that does. What else do we got? I just like Kazuya because he's funny. Don't worry, I won't play Steve. This is a safe place. Oh, banana. Banana is broken. Oh, watch. You guys want to see me counterplay snake grenades? It's on FD too. See how I just ignored it because there's a 4-second timer? See how I just ignored it? Dude loves just doing double jump now. There. Whoops. Hee Damn, dash attack's the real crime here. Holy. You know, haven't really been struggling with grenade that much, huh? He knew. Damn, I just kicked him in the back of the head. Kazuya Mishima. I'm not only doing good because of Reflector, dude. I don't think any of my reflected grenades hit him, and I only started doing it towards the end. These guys watched the video, too. Clown Girl Honk Heaven is awesome, dude. Hero side B only. I'll run out of MP. Diddy Kong Bananas broken. Like unfair. Like Rob's gyro and down tilts are just unfair moves. But like, I feel like I've truly made my point already with a lot of those other characters where I only used those moves and my opponent rage quit. At least Joker Gun only does like not a lot of damage, but it still is like a very good move. Only use gyro. Oh, I'm gonna be B button warrior. Why are we getting MD all the time? So what do you guys think of my Rob? No, go ahead, punish it. You want to roll in this time? Only down tilt and down B, baby. Ooh, F tilt. Getting crazy. He punished me. Dude, it's crazy that even after you shield it, it just respawns. Oh, I thought I still had it. I died. I was trying to down tilt. Down tilt times 5 is true. Is there a reason I don't use Robin tournaments? Too hard. I have to think so hard when I play him. I can't do it. You know? Alright. I'll just play one more for funsies. Not really proving a point. And then I'll say goodbye to the video. If this one even makes it in the video. Something no one has said for 500 for 500. A well-timed forward air. The back air button has been turned on. Holy. Call me Nick Leo. Spot dodge merchant. Oh, another back air. Feeling crazy today, are we? Okay, I'm down to wrap it up there. I feel like I've made my point. Some of those other characters making people rage quit is always a good time for me. Looking at you, Corin, up there, and whatever the other one was that I made that guy rage quit with. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think is broken as far as moves go. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. And as for you guys, I'll see you. Always too soon, right?